Fox NASCAR welcomes you to South Florida and the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. NASCAR's annual trip here has always been in the late fall, and for the last 19 years for the championship race. Not today. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy with Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon. Originally scheduled for March due to COVID-19, moved to June. That means two things: heat and humidity.
Yeah, Mike, these drivers, I mean, they've never had to face these kinds of conditions before. So many races, thousands of miles crammed into just a few weeks on this schedule. It's hot, it's humid, the tracks are very tough and challenging, and that's going to continue today at Homestead-Miami Speedway. This is a very challenging racetrack.
Boy, the places that we have been over the last few weeks in this condensed catch-up schedule. 2 weeks at Darlington, two races inside 1 week at Charlotte. On the high banks of Bristol, the mile and a half at Atlanta, and Wednesday night, first time ever midweek cup race under the lights at Martinsville. It's been grueling with 7 of NASCAR's premier races in just 25 days. It's taken its toll on drivers and crews. And that 2,634 miles that they have raced, it's about as far as it is to drive from this track cross country to San Diego. How hot is it? Let's go trackside and Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, we've caught a little bit of a money cloud, but a few moments ago the grid temperature was 127, the real feel about 96. And Kevin, is this going to be the event where we see the packed schedule really start to take its toll on the drivers?
I think you guys are a little bit behind. I think it's already, started to take a toll on the drivers. I think as you look at the midweek recovery time, and when you have those midweek races, it really kind of takes away from your preparation and the time that you have to recover. So not to mention that we're racing at a whole bunch of hot racetracks and tough racetracks. When you look at Darlington and Charlotte and Bristol, here in Miami, these are tough racetracks normally, and you add that heat to them and a side window and all the things that we've been battling. It's been a tough stretch, but I think everybody's up for the challenge. I know we are, and our Busch Light Ford will be ready to go.
All right, okay. Thanks, Kevin. Mike?
Well, as you saw in that big piece on heat, Bubba Wallace was one of those featured, and Bubba has had quite a week. Started going on CNN calling for NASCAR to eliminate the Confederate flag from racetracks. NASCAR did just that, leading right in to Wednesday night. Here's Bubba's thoughts pre-race.
My career right here. I'm excited about it. I'm ready for it. I haven't really slept much thinking about this race, just everything that's going into it, everything that's going on in the world. Trying to race to change the world here.
And that was Bubba's car Wednesday night at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where he had quite a battle in that number 43 with 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson for 10th place in the closing laps.
Yeah, Mike, I really want to applaud NASCAR and their leadership and how they found a way to get back to racing in a safe manner during these unprecedented times, as well as how they've taken on major social change head on. That's a great partnership.
NASCAR has overcome COVID-19. Fans are back at the track for the first time today and battling social and racial injustice. It has been quite a couple of weeks. Here now is 5-time Pro Bowl tackle, College Football Hall of Famer, and COVID-19 survivor Tony Baselli with today's invocation.
Let us pray. Father God, maker of heaven and earth and all things that are good, we come to you today during this time of conflict in our country, and we pray for peace, pray for reconciliation. Father, I pray that each of us will remember that we were made by you. We were made in your image. We were made having great value, and we were made for a purpose. Father, I pray for every individual that has been touched by racism. I pray that you bring healing to their lives. And God, I pray that all of us will live our lives with empathy, with compassion, and love for one another. God, I also pray for every individual who's been touched by COVID and every family that has lost somebody because of COVID. I pray you bring healing and peace to them. And Father, we also pray for the healthcare workers and give thanks for them and all they've done, how they give great sacrifice and show great courage as they serve our communities. God, and finally, we pray for the race today. We pray for the race car drivers. We pray for safety, that no harm will come to them. And we pray that they will compete at the highest level. We give you thanks for this great day that we have. And we pray all of this in your son's name. Amen.
Here is 3-time Grammy Award-winning recording artist and South Florida's own John Cicada will perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Today's flyover F-16s from the 482nd Fighter Wing at the track's next door neighbor, Homestead Air Force Base. For the last 18 seasons, NASCAR has crowned its premier series champion here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. A long, illustrious list of champions, the most recent of whom is ready to race today and is standing by with Matt Yoakum.
When you look at Kyle Busch's racing resume, he is stout everywhere. A pair of wins here, a pair of second place finishes this year, Kyle. Still looking for the first W. What are the Kyle Busch keys to a great day here at Homestead?
Having a fast race car, having a good long run car, but also being able to make something happen on the short runs, because we know short runs can happen towards the end of these races and put you in a bad spot. Similar to, I think, 2016 for us, racing for a championship. But not racing for a championship today, none of that on the line. So hopefully it's just a good normal day for us, and we can run like we did at Atlanta. You stay in the top 5 much of the day, keep your track position much of the day. You have a shot to come down to race for a win at the end, and you go for it.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Defending champ Kyle Busch. All right, you and I went for a ride in the pace car at Phoenix. I like taking this virtual lap a lot better, but come on, Jeff, pilot us around Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yeah, we get to do it with a drone shot, which I love. And I love this racetrack, and I tell you why. It's abrasive, it's challenging, it's hot, it's slick. But look at turns 1 and 2. A little bit different banking. This is a progressive bank racetrack, so less banking, 18 degrees at the bottom, 20 at the top up near the wall. When that grip is good, you can run the shortest route right around the bottom, but as the grip goes away in these tires, you start gravitating towards the top. Here we go down this back straightaway, carrying a lot of speed, some big bumps getting into turn 3. Now you do a nice late turn in, sweep right down to the bottom when the tires are good. Like I said, again, less banking at the bottom. And as you move up the racetrack, as you lose that grip to get the momentum, use the air and that cushion up against the wall, slingshot off of turn 4 back to the start-finish line. And all doing that, sliding around with your elbows up, Mike.
That looks like a lot of fun. You want to have some fun? How about win some money? During today's race, download the Fox Bet Super 6 app and play for free. Correctly pick how 6 drivers will finish. The money rolls over every week, so this week you could win up to $90,000. So, as folks get ready to make their Fox Bet picks, Jeff, give us some ones to watch.
Well, I think going back to November, the guy that won there, Kyle Busch, he won the championship for the 2nd time and won the race. That's the last time that Kyle Busch has actually won a race in the Cup Series, which is very hard to believe. I think here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, he's going to show what he is capable of here in 2020 by getting back to the victory lane. Tyler Reddick, this rookie's been so impressive, but no more so than here at this racetrack. He's had impressive wins in the last 2 races with back-to-back wins and championships in the Xfinity Series, and he will show us his skills by rim riding up against the wall today in a Cup car. And then, of course, Kevin Harvick. I mean, this guy is unbelievable here. Since he's gone to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2014, he's never finished outside the top 5.
All right, Jimmy Johnson is our Grand Marshal today. No, not the 7-time champion. There are 2 Jimmy Johnsons. They spell it differently, of course. Nice hair. One has 3 championships, the other 7. They both have active lifestyles. They both have a catchphrase. And they both love beating Joe Gibbs. Here is Fox NFL analyst Jimmy Johnson.
It's a pleasure to be the Grand Marshal for the Dixie Vodka 400 from Homestead in the great city of Miami. Let's get it going. Drivers, start your engines.
Getting ready to race in South Florida for 400 miles around the Homestead-Miami Speedway on a warm, humid day in June. It's live on Fox. Next. Track drying is complete, save one pesky area down on the apron of turn number 4. Otherwise, the track dryers are headed for home. We're getting ready to get to action here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Mike, I'm joined by Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, previously, he represented Florida's District 6, which encompasses the birthplace of speed and the Daytona International Speedway. And, Governor, how exciting to be here at Homestead and have sports back with military folks in attendance.
Oh, well, we're thrilled. We're glad NASCAR was one of the first out of the chute, and they are the first sport to have fans. And we're glad that's here in the state of Florida. And I couldn't think of a better set of fans than the people that defend our freedom. So it's a great day.
Now, one of the most special things is always the start of a race, and you're going to have the opportunity to wave the green flag. Are you nervous, and have you practiced?
You know, I'm a little nervous, but quite frankly, as long as the rain goes and we're able to get going, I'll be fine. So I got the official up there. He's going to give me the instructions. We'll be good to go.
All right. Well, enjoy the day, Governor.
Thank you.
Mike?
Engine should be ready to fire up here. And we're going racing. Yes, we are in South Florida right after this.
It's that little Chico Pitbull, Mr. 305, better said Mr. Worldwide, and I'm just welcoming everybody to the NASCAR Cup Series Miami race. Now, while you guys are down in South Florida, I gotta welcome you the right way, especially to the 1,000 military families that are out there right now. I wanna say thank y'all so much, because y'all the reason that we have freedom. Y'all the reason that we have a beautiful country called the United States of America. Y'all the reason that we can control our own destiny and create our own opportunities. Thank y'all for being out there and making sure that we can enjoy this.
Welcome, race fans, to Homestead-Miami Speedway.
It'll be a good day. Good luck.
Drivers, start your engine!
Fire no. Green flag's out. Green flag.
We just want to have fun. We just want to have fun.
Welcome to the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Cars are on the pace lap after a spate of track drying from a pop-up shower. So let's have a look at the Dixie Vodka starting grid. Across the bottom, the top 12 drivers in points drew for starting positions 1 to 12. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano on the front row. Team point standing positions 13 through 24 drew for those spots, 25 through 36 for those spots, and there are 2 additional non-chartered cars making up the 38-car field. There's the front half of the field, and let's go to the front row.
Yeah, Joey Logano. Hey, Joey, Jeff and Mike here in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy? Hey, Joey, This is Jeff in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy? Hey, you know, here we are. We got a little bit of a rain delay. This is a track that so many drivers love, and when I look at the stats, you got to love it too. You know, you've really been strong here the last 6 races. I think 6 or better. So, what are you looking for today? How challenging is it going to be this time of year?
We got plenty of challenges ahead of us without any practice, but yeah, this is one of my favorite racetracks. I think it's every driver's favorite racetrack, place that you can go all over the place. I've watched 4 or 3 incredible races so far here in Homestead, so we're hoping to have another good one. Nice, beautiful Del Pinto Mustang up front, so hopefully we can track position and maintain it, be there at the end. But it's a fun place. Tires going to wear. It's going to be hot and sweaty.
All right, Joey, thanks for talking to us. Good luck rim riding up there on the wall.
I hope I don't hit it.
Joey will start from the outside of the front row. Well, I say the outside, depending on which lane the driver who drew the pole, Denny Hamlin, chooses. This time by, the pace car should lead the field down pit road, so drivers can check pit road speeds. Why don't we check with our crew chief, Larry McReynolds?
You know, Mike, there are 38 drivers that are in this field, and just like the last 7 weeks, they have not turned a single lap of practice. Every one of them, they have a lot of unknowns, and we know based on what we've seen, when they drop the green flag, there's going to be some drivers that are way off. But what I have seen, and we saw a classic case at Martinsville on Wednesday night, is don't panic, just be cool. Because when you look at the finishing order of that race Wednesday night, there were a lot of drivers that finished in the top 5 that were just hanging on in the beginning, including eventual winner Martin Truex Jr. in that 19 team. Let's take a look at our race analysis. We're going to go 267 laps, 400 miles. The stages are 80, 80, and 107. Pit road speed, it's the tough pit road to get onto under green, 45 miles per hour. The fuel window, 64 to 66 laps. And Mike, we will have a competition cost at lap 25. If we have one earlier, they'll probably come get tires, but you can't fuel it until lap 25.
Thanks, Larry. Well, the weather here, you know, I don't know, in retirement, I'd like to be a Florida weatherman. Mostly sunny, chance of rain around 3 o'clock every single day. Here are your Ford Performance track facts at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Ford has 8 wins. That's the most of any manufacturer. Greg Biffle scored 3 of those in a Ford.
A Biff. See here as you ride on board on the roof of the 22 Pennzoil Ford for Joey Logano. Denny Hamlin, who's our pole sitter, is going to take that outside line, and that's going to put Kyle Busch, his teammate, behind him as a pusher. Matt?
Well, Jeff, you guys mentioned that Chris Gabehart's back on the box for Hamlin, and he told me earlier that coming down here, not knowing what the weather was going to be like, they went back to the final run in happy hour, but also the first 2 runs of the fall race here in 2019 for their guesstimation about what they're going to go with for a setup. Made it a little bit more free, but then once again, Mike, you mentioned it, the weather has changed. It's dropping in low 80s now, so not really sure what to expect this first run.
Was that the temperature or the humidity, Matt? I think both could be in the low 80s. Dark clouds off to the east there. Running back for the Saints, Alan Camara is in attendance here as a guest of NASCAR.
Hey, look at that.
I think he was watching you at Talladega on iRacing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was 224, so be careful what you're looking at there on that screen. But William Byron, one of our younger drivers behind the wheel of that Exalted Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, doing a nice job in that 24.
It is very dark off turn number 2, and we're hoping that continues out to sea as we get ready to race in Homestead. The magic number is 134. That is the halfway lap. We get past 134 laps, this race is official. Stage breaks at 80 and 160, as Larry mentioned. 267 laps would be the full race distance. In the top 10, 7 of the top 10 starters have won a NASCAR championship here. And on the start, you'll be listening to Chris Lambert, the spotter for pole sitter Denny Hamlin.
One of those drivers who's been in contention many times for a championship, but has not won a championship at this level yet. Hard to believe. Could this be the year?
Pace car makes a sharp left turn in front of the largest crowd at a NASCAR race since March. And with the green flag in hand, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Green flag.
For you, 2 is 7 to 22. Still inside of it. He does have help. 18 coming to you, half back. In line. 1 back to KB, 1 lane higher. Still inside with the 2. Still inside with the 2. 18's 1 back, coming with a big run, getting shoved. Coming to your bumper, shooting you out, still inside. Just the 2 on the bottom, good behind him if you need it. Clear by 5.
4 wide midfield. Joey Logano leads lap 1 from his Penske Ford teammate Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, it was Team Penske versus Joe Gibbs Racing on that start. We saw Brad Keselowski give his teammate Joey Logano a nice big shove into turn 1 to allow him to get the lead, and then he followed right on through and took second place. A lot of grip in this clean racetrack right now because of that rain that came through and washed some of the rubber off of this racetrack from that Xfinity race. So you're going to see these guys laying down some fast laps right now, but also the balance is going to shift in a hurry as the grip goes away quickly on these Goodyear tires.
Yeah, Jeff, what I have learned is the more the grip goes up in the racetrack, the car gets a little freer. The back is not stuck quite as good as the front tires.
Woohoo! Did you see that 3 wide? Bubba Wallace in the center, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the outside.
Riding with Stenhouse in 17th, Tyler Reddick is up 8 spots since the green flag. Make that 11.
Well, and I expect Tyler Reddick to be right up near the wall. I know those Xfinity cars have the composite bodies. You can lean on that wall a little bit more, so you got to be careful here in the Cup Series as the caution has come out.
Lightning and rain bringing the caution out here. And you noticed all of our coverage was from onboard and robotically operated cameras mounted on the wall of the racetrack because of lightning within the last 30 minutes. Our rooftop cameramen have not been allowed yet to go back to position.
And you can see that huge dark cloud in the distance there, but it is south of the racetrack, but it is close enough where if there's lightning in that cloud, then NASCAR has to react.
This is the 7th straight race that Joey Logano has led in 2020. Both he and Penske teammate Brad Keselowski have hoisted the championship hardware here. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Toyota and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. 5 laps have been completed, and caution and now a red flag being displayed for lightning. It's important to note the track is dry, but lightning in the immediate area has brought a stop to competition. The Speedway has asked the fans to exit the grandstand until the lightning threat is over. Of course, our cameramen are already on the ground, spotters coming down from the roof, and a halt to competition here. So this will likely not affect the competition caution that is scheduled for lap 25 for teams to check tire wear. And lap 80 will be the end of the first of 3 stages of this race. Well, we had not planned on racing from daylight into darkness, but that may well be the case today.
Yeah, and we know how much this track changes just from lap to lap, run to run, but especially when you go from daytime cool, warmer track temperatures into cooler nightfall, as this track, you'll gain a lot of grip, so teams are going to have to adjust to that.
As bright as the sky is to the northeast and the southwest, off to the east and southeast.
I like that shot.
Yeah, the blue sky. Let's bring that blue
really
sky
good
over here. But again, the track is dry, and we are under a hold for lightning in the immediate area after 5 laps, 4 of which under green. And Joey Logano has led them all from Denny Hamlin after a push from Brad Keselowski. Homestead-Miami Speedway celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. (1995) was the opener. More than 1,000 palm trees here. Tony Stewart celebrating after the first Cup race in 1999. This was a squared oval like Indianapolis. It was reconfigured to a flat oval with rounded turns at each end and then a progressively banked oval, where they held the championship weekend from 2002 to 19. This track was the dream of Ralph Sanchez. He was a very successful race promoter in South Florida, promoted IMSA Camel GT sports car racing on the streets of Miami for many years. And in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew, this particular piece of property became available as a development site, and in the process of rejuvenating South Florida from the devastation of Andrew, one of the projects was to build this speedway, which is owned by the city of Homestead and leased first to Ralph Sanchez, who operated it for quite a few years, and it was then taken over by the France family and now owned by, or rather the lease is owned by NASCAR. Here's the best news of the last hour and a half.
Hey,
the caution car is rolling.
We're further ahead than we've been in a while, Mike. I like it.
Here we go. So back up onto the asphalt, and you'll see when Michael McDowell's car rolls what repairs they made due to that bird strike that he suffered. The rains have brought the temperature down to 79. Still light wind out of the east, cloudy, and with the humidity feels like 83. The impact of COVID-19 has been devastating for bartenders and their families around the country, so Dixie Vodka is supporting the U.S. Bartenders Guild Foundation Bartender Emergency Assistant Program to provide grants to those in need. You can raise a glass and support America's bartenders by visiting dixievodka.com/bartenders to donate. Well, we've had a dry racetrack for more than an hour and a half. We were under the red flag for lightning. Looks like one car stopped there on the apron. Yep, just getting in line and now pulling off again. So 2 to go at the line, we're told. And then we'll get back to green. 2 hour and 8 minute red flag.
So, Mike, we talked so much about a 1.5 mile track, even as abrasive as this track is here at Homestead, of aerodynamics playing such a huge role. You hear Joey Logano saving a little bit of fuel, shutting the engine off, turning it back on, letting the clutch out. But aerodynamics and the attitude of these cars. Some teams are choosing to put a little more downforce and drag in their cars. Some are choosing to be more efficient, get that back end down. These cooler track conditions, if you chose to get the back of the car down and be more efficient and not as much drag in the car, this is going to pay off for you. You're going to have more grip. So, you know, you were giving up a little bit of grip for maybe some straightaway speed. Now you're going to want all that top end speed.
A couple of cars have come to pit road, including William Byron, to change tires. Remember, you're not allowed to add fuel until the competition caution. There's Ty Dillon. As Larry pointed out earlier, you have a few competition laps, green flag laps on these tires. Some of those drivers in the back would come in and make a change, and some have.
Yeah, I mean, you had Ty Dillon, who you know, started back in 32nd. William Byron started 22nd.
Joey Gase was in, and Josh Bilicki, and Michael McDowell to make a little crash repair, as we mentioned, on the left front corner of his car. We're able to give you limited coverage, the robotically operated cameras and the onboards, as our cameramen are not yet allowed back up to the roof due to restrictions when there is a lightning strike within a designated radius of the racetrack. Should be 1 to go this time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is pretty common, you know, these days. That's to keep the temperature out of the car. That helps performance, but also allows you maybe to run a little bit more tape on the grill. But it also is saving fuel. And it's not that they're in fuel save mode, Mike. It's just when they get to that stop on that competition caution, they just literally have to put less fuel in it. So it just helps speed up the process.
Green flag next time by. The competition caution still scheduled for lap 25. Total of 80 laps in this first stage.
Every car we've gone on board with is saving fuel and just keeping that engine cool right now.
So, Larry, if they're shutting the engine off to save gas so it takes less time to fuel on the pit stop, might that mean just 2 tires instead of taking the time to get 4?
No, Mike. Any opportunity you get here, it's 4 tires. And you know, if we only ran maybe 8 or 10 laps here and we get a caution, I can promise you, they'll be flooding pit road getting 4 tires.
Thanks, Larry. You'll be listening to Coleman Presley, Brad Keselowski's spotter, on the restart. Keselowski firing off from row 2 behind Logano and Hamlin. Pace cars in.
Heard Logano drop down to sounded like a lower gear, like first gear maybe for this restart.
We're back under green.
Denny, a good push, half off you, squared right now. Square 2, you're going to the bottom. He's going to get fairly bumper inside, middle 3, middle 3, middle 3.
Look at Truex going to the bottom.
By 1. Just 1 outside right here. Outside covered by Harvick. 2 back gear lane. Outside covered by the 1 behind the store here. 2 back gear lane. 1's outside.
Hamlin for the lead against Logano side by side. If you were having trouble finding Keselowski, he's the green and white car.
And how about that move? Martin Truex Jr. coming from that 3rd row. Takes him 3 wide to get by Keselowski. And he was able to move all the way up into that 3rd position. Logano back by Hamlin.
And who was that way up high off the corner? That was Kevin Harvick. Now drop into the bottom.
Yeah, going for some clean air down here in turns 3 and 4. Whoa, the two of Keselowski goes flying by the outside of Truex as Truex just tried to run through the center of the corner. Did not work.
Wow, what a power move by Brad Keselowski. Let's check with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, about 3 hours ago when the race started, Joey Logano said that his car really fired off well, a little bit on the tight side. His spotter, TJ Majors, doing a fantastic job letting him know the lanes that the cars behind him are running so he can try to gauge if he needs to move.
So these Fords are fast at Penske right now. Joey Logano with the power move around Hamlin. Here comes Brad Keselowski, also going by Denny Hamlin for second place.
A 3-car breakaway. Logano, Keselowski, and Hamlin. It's a second and a half back to Harvick, Truex, Chase Elliott, and Kurt Busch.
And this is something we'll watch, Mike, to see how it plays out. Who has short run speed? Who has long run speed? We talk about the fall off a lot as we watch Reddick. Tyler Reddick making some big moves here early on in this race. All the way up. That's a battle for 8th position right now with Ryan Blaney side by side. He's going to have to fall back to 9th. He has put it up on the fence here in these first opening laps and is driven up through the field.
They got the worst possible draw. They were in the group drawing for 13th to 24th. He started 24th. He's up to 10th. Tyler Reddick.
Wow, look how much deeper into the corner Tyler drove into turn 3 than Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney had to check up a little bit because of Kurt Busch in front of him.
Riding with Kyle Busch, that's Clint Boyer in the 14.
Clint might go 3 wide here. He's looking to go 3 wide on Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch. Thinks better of it off of turn 2. Tyler Reddick going for the slide job there on Ryan Blaney. Here's another one by the 10, Eric Almirola, just going to hug that very bottom. Jimmy Johnson really loose as we're looking at Bubba Wallace behind him.
He and Bubba are picking up right where they left off Wednesday night at Martinsville, nose to tail. Truex tried for 4th under Harvick. Larry, a couple drivers like Tyler Reddick charging hard. It's only 10 more laps until the competition caution, but what's going to be the effect of that hard charging on those tires, oh, say 5 or 6 laps from now?
Yeah, I mean, Mike, it can be a fine line between short run and long run, but I just feel like knowing that competition caution is coming, find out what that car's got. Run that race car hard. We know we've got that caution at lap 25, which right now is only about 10 laps away.
Reddick is 7th. He is the first driver in the running order who has not been to victory lane this year. Right. Kyle Busch is another, running in 11th.
And it's so hard to believe. Denny Hamlin, even though he was kind of shuffled back by Logano and Keselowski, his car is coming on strong as he starts to battle Keselowski for that 2nd position.
And they have about 2 seconds on Kevin Harvick, the 4th place car.
See Chase Elliott there going by Martin Truex Jr. for 5th.
Boyer working on Kyle Busch for 10th. And going after and past, well, not past yet, going after Kurt Busch. Oops.
You'll see a lot of moves like that right there, Mike, as you see Clint Boyer slide up in front of Kyle Busch, and then Kyle Busch does that crossover move because he had the momentum, and now he'll go down to the next corner. I think Kurt Busch right now struggling a little bit with his car. Kyle and Clint Boyer trying to find a way by him. And these guys having some fun, quite a battle side by side.
Boyer and the Busch brothers.
So you can see with this cooler track temperature, that bottom is holding on a little bit better than you would normally see during the daytime. Look how much they gain on Kurt Busch there through the center of the corner. Both Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer, boy, that got really, really tight. But then you see that draft on the top. Kyle Busch loses a lot of time. They go 3 wide through 1-2.
Back straightaway, Brad Keselowski wants the lead. He closed right up to the back bumper of Joey Logano. Couldn't make the pass. And now they're separated by a car length coming off turn 4.
Yeah, Brad's actually found some speed here. Denny Hamlin had closed up to the rear bumper of Keselowski, but Keselowski searched around, found some speed. Car came to him a little
Spinner,
bit.
turn 4. Car down to the apron and caution waves.
Ryan Newman. And he's going to head straight to pit road as if maybe he had a flat tire. Doesn't want to tear up the quarter panel or that crush panel within that fender.
Second caution of the day. And there he is on the right corner of your screen, the white and orange car.
Mike, you're going to definitely see his right rear tire is flat as he comes at you spinning right there.
I was just looking, Larry, to see if he had any contact with the wall. The right side looked pretty good. May have made some contact with another car that would have possibly cut that right rear tire down, but clearly it was all the way down on the inner liner.
And NASCAR has told the teams that this will be the competition caution coming out at lap 21. Everybody's still on the lead lap, so no free pass needed.
Some shuffling right there before that caution came out. Tyler Reddick moved all the way up to 5th position, got around Chase Elliott and Blaney and Truex.
Wow. Not only has he won 2 championships in this place, you know, we were a little concerned about Reddick because as you saw in the Xfinity race earlier today on FS1 and yesterday on Fox, those cars can better tolerate scraping the wall, running that high groove, and we wondered about Reddick since that's where he likes to run.
Well, now
contact with that wall here with these steel-bodied cars could be trouble.
So he knows he has a fast car. He loves this racetrack. Now it's up to he and Randall Burnett to stay on top of the changes and make sure they stay up with these constantly changing conditions and balance of this racetrack.
So Ryan Newman came in before the pits were open, stayed on the lead lap with a quick repair. So the penalty for that will be starting tail end. And now all 38 cars should come to pit road, and that's going to be congested. Matt?
And Hunter Masling already has that right front tire off. Joey Logano said that his car fired off a little bit on the tight side and really started to come to him right near this competition caution. Look for the piece of tape. There it is, right on the nose. An air pressure adjustment for Logano.
Seven cars elected not to pit and stayed out. So this Ram race off pit road will not be for the lead, but for 8th place on back. Martin Truex ahead of Nemechek, Keselowski, Blaney, and Custer. So Brennan Poole is the new race leader. He did not come to pit road. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. 23 laps complete. Here they come to the Geico restart zone. The 7 drivers who did not pit last lap pitted the next time by. That cycles Logano and Harvick back to the lead. We're back under green. Brad Keselowski lost 4 spots on pit road with an air gun issue. Ty Dillon, too fast entering the pits, had to restart tail end.
Already they're 3 wide off of turn 2. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski.
Matt Kenseth pitted twice, the second time to tighten a loose wheel.
And Tyler Reddick continues to impress as he goes by Chase Elliott for second.
Somebody scraped the wall right about there. Might have been Kyle Busch. His teammate Eric Jones goes by.
Well, Blaney's going to dive to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Woo! Can he clear the 4? Not quite. That's going to cost Blaney down this front straightaway as they start side drafting. Oh, he's able to
he may
do
make
a nice job holding on to that left rear quarter panel on the 4 to maybe complete this pass. Yes.
Did a nice job making it up in the corner. Alex Bowman.
How about the job this kid is doing? Tyler Reddick going after our leader, Joey Logano. Chase Elliott right there, also the fast car right now. Gets to the inside quarter panel of Tyler Reddick. Uses that bottom lanes. There's some grip up there right now. Slides up in front of Tyler Reddick for second place.
And Reddick comes right back on the outside.
Well, you run that bottom while there's good grip in the tires, but there's a certain threshold where all of a sudden that speed will go away. Right now, the bottom is good for the 9 car of Chase Elliott, but for how long? He moves up top trying to get some momentum on that top lane, maybe block Tyler Reddick from getting a run off of turn 2.
Reddick looking to lead his first ever laps in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Here goes Chase, going to use that bottom line again. And he can get there, but he can't quite make the pass, so this opens up the door for Tyler Reddick on the outside.
See if Chase sends it in on the bottom. Comes right even with Logano. Edges ahead and closes him off.
And don't remember, these guys at Bristol got a little too close for comfort in the closing laps of that race. Nice clean pass as Chase Elliott slides up in front of Joey Logano.
Now Logano and Reddick battle for second.
That's what you want to do right there. Get that right front fender at the rear bumper. Dump some air on that rear spoiler and pull that car back just like Tyler Reddick did going into turn 1. But don't know if he can complete it. Yeah, he's going to slide up also in front of Logano. So now 2 Chevrolets up front.
Which shows me that even with the advantage of the high side, Logano just doesn't have the drive off the corner that those 2 Camaros do.
Yeah, I just think right now with these cooler conditions, we're going to have to see what happens as more rubber lays down the track and we get longer into this run, whether they have to gravitate up towards the top. But what I'm impressed with Tyler Reddick, we expect him to be right up against the fence. He's pretty fast anywhere he's running that number 8 machine.
Jeff, right now, Chase Elliott in that 9, he's able to pick the throttle up so much earlier off of 2 and get that run. A lot more than the other 2 he's racing with.
Caution's out.
And caution is out for lightning. At lap 32.
I was going to say, there's some lightning happening on the track. I hate that it's happening up in those clouds, man. We're seeing some good racing here early on.
Chase Elliott has led 3 laps. Brad Keselowski won, Denny Hamlin won, and Joey Logano was out front for 27 laps. As caution waves, with Chase Elliott leading at Homestead-Miami Speedway. A little salsa to come back to at Homestead-Miami Speedway, where we've run 26 laps under green and 7 under yellow. Chase Elliott is your race leader. There's Tyler Reddick, second. There's your running order on the left. Logano, Blaney, Hamlin, Harvick. Joey Logano's led 27 of the 33 laps so far. Chase Elliott has been out in front now for 4 laps. Waiting for the red flag to be lifted due to lightning for the second time today.
Salsa, Mike, the fancy footwork has been going on for these pit crew guys, putting on these and taking off these rain covers, and these drivers getting in and out of these race cars. They've got that down pat.
And the skies look better than they did when we had this red flag come out for lightning. Little sun poking through down at the south end of the racetrack there. But we're going to race into the night. Glad to have you with us on Fox for our coverage of the Dixie Vodka 400. 234 laps to go, with 47 laps to go in stage 1. Tightening up the window net for Kevin Harvick.
A couple of drivers, to note. I mean, we saw Truex, who was running up front, but I don't know if they made some adjustments on the stop or just after we went back green. Car not to his liking. He's back in 13th spot. Kyle Busch really hasn't moved since the restart several laps ago under that last green run. He's in 12th spot. Jimmy Johnson, I believe they made some major adjustments the last time they were on pit road, lost a bunch of spots, so he's back in 24th.
You know, Mike and Jeff, when we go back racing, we're going to have a little over 40 laps to go in this first stage. We ran 7 green flag laps there, and Jeff, you and I were talking out in the hallway just a little bit ago. I would not be a bit surprised to see, if not all, the majority of drivers back on pit road for 4 more tires.
Wow. Still 78 degrees, no change. The winds were 8 miles an hour out of the east, now 5. And feels pretty close to the ambient temperature, within a degree or 2 now. No track drying needed. There was no rain. Just another lightning strike that chased our cameramen off the roof as they had reassumed their positions and brought the drivers to pit road. So let's crank them up. Now, don't be confused by this shot. The cars on the left-hand row, or left-hand column, excuse me, are the lead cars in the left column behind the pace car. Beginning with William Byron, who is 21st, they will fall in behind. So this is not a row by row.
Yeah, they just do that to use as little of pit road as possible to let vehicles, whether they be safety vehicles or track drying equipment, to, if they needed them to dry or go up and down pit road, could use more of it before they got back out on track.
Looked like a little bit of urgency there among Jimmy Johnson's crew.
I think maybe, or William Byron's crew also looked like maybe that car wasn't refiring, but I just heard it fire.
Mike, I think the urgency, a lot of those guys are on the pit crew, and they have to get back to the pit box ready for a pit stop.
Ah, good point.
Doing a lot of different jobs under these unique set of circumstances.
Just about ready to roll, and now the yellow flag has been displayed once again. So the driver who has been the most fun to watch in these first 33 laps is the subject of our maximum performance presented by Blue Emu, and it is Tyler Reddick. Look at his graph and keep in mind that's in just 33 laps.
Well, obviously a lot of cars must have gravitated towards the bottom of the racetrack when the green flag dropped to start this race, because Tyler Reddick, look what he did. He just jumped up around him. He passed, what, 10 cars in just the first few laps.
He has marched his way to second place. First and second, both Chevys. Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick. Third and fourth, both Fords, Logano and Blaney. The first Toyota is Hamlin in fifth. So let's try it again after a red flag of just under 39 minutes duration for Lightning. Pit road will be open when they come around. And again, no free pass. Everybody's on the lead lap. All 38 drivers. So what happened on the earlier stop that became the competition caution, 7 drivers stayed out, and they were doing it as a courtesy to the cars they were pitted next to and elected to pit the next time by. So everybody was on the lead lap and everybody did come in. It just took 2 laps to accomplish that. That's why we restarted with Joey Logano back in the lead.
And look at these leaders, all of them peeling off to pit road for those 4 fresh Goodyears.
Matt?
And Joey Logano's team just jumps off the wall as Chase Elliott goes by. Elliott said that his car fired off great. Logano, meanwhile, said his car had started to go more to the tight side. It was snappy loose on exit, but that's because he'd lost the car turning through the center of the corner. He came down talking to his team, as most drivers did, getting plans of what changes to make on this stop.
Boy, Logano is away even as cars are still coming down pit road looking to get into their spot. So Joey got held up just a bit there, and you'll see it reflected.
He's going to lose a lot of spots and some contact or possible contact on pit road.
Harvick right in the middle of that scrum.
Busch, Matt DiBenedetto. Somebody was peeling off to come into their pit stall, stopped right in front of Joey Logano, started sort of a chain reaction.
And Jeff, that'll happen when you have so many cars on the lead lap all coming in at the same time.
Yeah, it's rare we have 38 cars on pit road at one time.
Kurt Busch coming out.
He did hit him. A little bit of damage to the nose.
Ran in the back of Quinn Houff, and here's this other issue back there. We're going to add one lap.
Nose on Joey Logano.
And we'll get the running positions when they cycle back around here to start finish and get 1 to go. Larry, how much damage does that look like on the nose?
Yeah, I mean, any damage whatsoever on the front end of a car at a high-speed track like this, I mean, it can certainly make a difference. But there's some other cars that I'm going to be watching, Mike, that I think may have got damage. I think Harvick, the 4, he's back on pit road. He had some damage. I think possibly Matt DiBenedetto in the 21. You see him on pit road. Look at all the damage on the left front fender of Matt DiBenedetto in the 21. Well, it was a big stack up there.
And Larry, the right rear, that very sensitive area around the right rear and the quarter panel on the 4 car, that's a sensitive area for speed and side force. You can see it's wrinkled in a bit behind that right rear in that corner of the bumper. Some left front issue where looks like Matt DiBenedetto felt like he might have a tire rub if they did not fix it.
Yeah, that was the same incident of everybody trying to get into the outer lane of pit road at once. So Logano will end up 11th, and here's a better look at it.
So you see Quinn Houff trying to get in his stall. I mean, just things happen very quickly. Yeah, the 21 at DiBenedetto just barely nicked that right rear corner of the bumper on the 4, Kevin Harvick, with his left front.
We mentioned Logano getting held up. He'll restart 11th. Elliott and Blaney will be on the front row. Hamlin and Reddick, Boyer and Bowman. Buescher, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, the top 10. Everybody still on the lead lap with Harvick and DiBenedetto restarting out back. Here they come to the Geico restart zone.
Bowyer stuck down in that inside lane. Great battle up front between Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott.
Blaney trying to take it away and lead his first lap of the day, and does.
Chase Elliott with a little side draft. Going to pull back Blaney, but Blaney fighting back to the outside. Going to get to the quarter pound off of turn 2. Look at these guys, how aggressive they are with one another. A lot of confidence you got to have in your fellow drivers when you're racing that aggressively and have this kind of grip on the straightaways and corners. Woo, Chase tried to run him up the racetrack. Car got loose. Lead to Ryan Blaney.
These two have half a second on Tyler Reddick. Then Hamlin and Bowman, Keselowski, then Bowyer, Jones, and Logano.
Big shove from Joey Logano to Eric Almirola. Pushes him on by. Chris Buescher in the 17. Buescher's going to slide up in front of Logano.
Yeah, Logano's been dropping spots. He's 11th right now. Second place.
Tyler Reddick continues to show a lot of strength here. Now this is that portion of a run where the track starts to change, Mike. The balance of your car starts to change, and so when you can run the bottom and have good grip like you see Chase Elliott doing, doesn't take long for that top groove to start coming in and being the preferred line. Ooh, boy, wow. That's Cole Custer, the 37 of Ryan Preece, making a little bit of contact, getting Cole Custer really loose into turn 3.
Top 4 spread out pretty evenly now, about two or three car lengths between each of them. But back at 6th place, Keselowski, Bowyer, Bowman, and we'll go back to 11th, Kyle Busch and Logano, with William Byron coming to the inside.
Clearly, Joey Logano not as happy with this car right now. I don't know if it's just the track's changed enough or that damage to the nose has been significant enough to get the balance of that car off. Now Ryan Preece starting to put some pressure on Joey Logano. Where you could hear how much out of the throttle Joey Logano was there. Still out of the throttle off the corner. He's having some big issues. He's doing the crossover on Preece.
Bowman and Keselowski for 5th with Clint Bowyer. Eric Jones is radioed in. He thinks he may have a loose wheel. He's the 10th place car. And here we go for 2nd place. Reddick taking it to Chase Elliott.
He dove into turn 3 like he was going to be able to slide up or maybe maintain on the bottom, but Chase Elliott fights back on the top. Keeps the position.
Now watch the 8 here on the inside.
Perfectly positioned himself getting in the corner. Look at the back ends just slide out.
Matt?
And Mike, you touched on it earlier. Tyler Reddick's trademark, especially in Xfinity here, is running the wall like he is right now. And he told me he knows how sensitive that right side is in Cup, because it's not the composite body, but he thinks it's just such an advantage. Others may be worried to run up there due to knocking out their crush panels, but he thinks the risk is definitely worth the reward.
Well, something else that he has to do that takes some risk is run this car very loose to be able to get that corner, the car to run through the corner through the center really fast, but you saw that's what also made that car step out, as we see Denny Hamlin now going to second place around Chase Elliott. Denny has a very good long run car here, Mike. You already saw the short runs that we've had so far. He'll drop back at the beginning, but then as the laps go by, he starts marching his way forward.
Hamlin restarted fourth. Ryan Blaney up a little more than a second and a half. There is his run through the day and into the dark here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Ryan Blaney out front for the last 9 of 45 laps. Chevy is committed to getting you back on the open road with confidence and peace of mind. Visit ChevyCares.com to learn more. 50 laps complete at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and 2 of those Camaros. Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott battle for third behind Ryan Blaney's Mustang and Denny Hamlin's Camry.
Still on your person.
Look at this. What a great shot. That onboard camera there, seeing the hood flaps from the air, how it's being disturbed over the hood of that 9-car Chase Elliott as Tyler Reddick goes to third place.
Do you want that push at the end of the straightaway? What does that feel like?
You know, at some tracks I do, but no, not at this one, because this track is so abrasive. The tires have so little grip on them that I'm just like, no, please, I'm good.
Ryan Blaney leading his first laps at Homestead-Miami Speedway in a NASCAR Cup car. The next Ford in line is going to be Eric Almirola in 5th. He restarted 13th, and right behind him are these two. After Keselowski, Alex Bowman, and Clint Boyer.
Last time by, Tyler Reddick was the fastest car on the track, followed by Almirola. Seems to be moving forward.
Everybody likes a different line in this group as they lap past Josh Bilicki in the 53.
Yeah, you just start searching for that clean air. And if the guy in front of you, like Almirola, I think was running the top, so you're going to come down maybe a car width or two, try to get some clean air, even though that top groove might be the preferred line. These guys running right through the center of the track down here in 1 and 2.
Passing Timmy Hill, who did double duty this weekend. Actually, his younger brother ran one of the 4 races here this weekend. But otherwise, Timmy having his usual full slate of weekend events, and all with the same sponsor. Yes, he was, Russell. He finished 3rd in iRacing here back during the sit out. Denny Hamlin won.
He's a great iRacer.
Great iRacer. Timmy Hill.
And Almirola makes that pass. This is a car and driver that are really fast right now. Almirola's been laying down some great laps, closed it right up to Chase Elliott, drove by him pretty easily, set his sights now on 3rd place Tyler Reddick, although Tyler Reddick has his sights on the lead because he's closed in on our 2 leaders, Blaney and Hamlin, a good bit here the last couple laps.
Jeff, they were encouraging Eric Almirola, you have to get by Reddick because they're pitting right in front of the 8 car, so it makes things a lot simpler when you don't have to go around a car to get in your pit box.
Kevin Harvick, who had a lengthy stop there, now going past Joey Logano, and Harvick has gained, if he makes this pass.
Remember, he had to check up because of Joey Logano checking up in front of him on pit road. That's what sort of caused the chain reaction, the domino effect, and the damage to that right rear quarter panel on the 4 car. But it seems to be hurting Joey Logano the most, even though it didn't physically show up as much damage on the nose of the 22.
Harvick has passed 18 cars since the restart. Matt?
Under the most recent red flag, Mike, due to the lightning, Joey Logano walked past me and said he was going to go talk to Paul Wolfe because he felt like they were starting to dial themselves out of the ballpark, and he was hoping for some big changes. That's what they did on the last stop. They pulled a Packer, a wedge adjustment, significant air adjustment. So 3 big changes, and it's not helped that 22.
Nope, he's backslid to 18th.
Sometimes when you go down a direction and it doesn't feel like it's getting any better, you're going in the wrong direction, you're actually going in the right direction. The tracks just change and that quickly on you.
And just to expand on the Packer, you have these shims. What they are, they're ride limiters on the 2 front shock absorbers that only lets the car travel so much. Then you have some very thin shims that you can either pull out or add if you need the car to travel more or travel less in the front end.
Eric Jones, Kurt Busch battling for 12th place.
So apparently Jones did not have a loose wheel. As he called in earlier, thought he might, but he stayed out on the racetrack. 12th place.
Yeah, Kurt's going to make that pass pretty easily on the outside. I don't know if I've ever seen this many different grooves being used at Homestead. We know it's a wide track and you can use up a lot of grooves as we see. Maybe that loose wheel did get worse on the 20 car, Mike, as he's on pit road.
That's what they're saying, Jeff.
But you know, we typically see here where there's a lot of room to race on and drive on, and you'll look for clean air, but typically you gravitate right to the top, and we're not seeing that right now. Some guys still running through the center.
Let's see what kind of line Martin Truex likes here with Ryan Newman in his tire tracks.
Mike, he has definitely been on the move forward, talking about Martin Truex Jr. in the 19, but I think his crew chief James Small must have thrown everything but the kitchen sink on that pit stop. Their pit stop was over 21 seconds long. A lot of adjustments on that 19.
Wow, so Truex restarted 19th. He's now 13th, plus 6. Denny Hamlin has been right up against the wall.
Well, it looks like down here at this end of the racetrack in 1 and 2, Mike, you see a couple different groups, but look at Tyler Reddick behind him run an inch off the wall and gain a lot of speed on the 11 car. Now Denny Hamlin using the high line down here in turns 3 and 4.
62 laps complete, and we're going to take you Fox side by side so you don't miss a minute. .67 laps complete, 13 to go to the end of stage 1 as Ryan Blaney falls into the clutches of Denny Hamlin's Toyota.
Well, watch him step the back of that car out on the number 12. Ryan Blaney's been really loose through turns 1 and 2. Seems to have a little bit better handle as he gets up near the wall in 3 and 4. Doesn't allow Denny to close in as much as he's fighting it in 1 and 2. There's a battle for 9th place. William Byron going to the outside of Chris Buescher.
Ryan Blaney's been saying the car is too loose for him to run right up at the very top of the racetrack in the corner.
Well, you know, if he's going to keep Denny Hamlin behind him, he's going to have to move up there just to even block the air on Denny Hamlin. We've seen a couple times how sideways Ryan Blaney has been trying to keep that back end underneath him. Denny going to try to use that slower lap car as a pick. Almost was there.
Yep. Josh Bilicki going 2 down. And Blaney hangs on to the lead as we're coming to 10 to go in stage 1.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Mike, here's where the 12 car Blaney gets so loose. You can see his hands on the steering wheel with those yellow gloves, working that steering wheel back and forth as Denny Hamlin closes up to the rear bumper. Denny just going to try to pressure him, be in his mirror, try to force him to make a mistake to make this an easier pass. Or use one of these slower cars as he comes up on Timmy Hill.
Hill right down against the white line won't be a factor.
Denny's close.
Blaney still has good drive off the corner.
really easy if you're Denny Hamlin to run in the tire tracks of Ryan Blaney and lose some of that downforce that comes, you know, that you lose because that hole that the 12 car is punching, and you can easily get into the wall if you try to run in the tire tracks when you're inches away from that wall. That could ruin your whole day. Cut a tire down.
Now 9 to go. This is Corey LaJoie stacking pennies, as he told us earlier, and he wants to stay on the lead lap with just 9 to go in the stage.
Just no match for these two guys. They're sort of in their own zip code, even have pulled away from Tyler Reddick as fast as Reddick has been up until about 4 or 5 laps ago.
Now LaJoie is in the free pass position at least until the leaders catch Ty Dillon.
Pretty impressed with Ryan Blaney, the job he's doing as loose as that car is through 1 and 2 to be able to hold off Denny Hamlin. See how Denny's just running about a half a car width down? He's just trying to get a little clean air to the nose of that car and trying not to get in that wake and get himself sideways up into the wall. So you can only get so close. That's why I say if Blaney can run that line and sort of block the run that the 11 of Denny Hamlin has, it's going to make his life really tough. That's why I think we see Denny searching around the racetrack a little bit more right now.
Hamlin, if he can get to the inside and just gain just a little bit alongside Blaney, that would take some of that air off Blaney's spoiler. Might create a different situation.
Yeah, all Denny wants to do is just be able to kind of hang with him, get close enough to him to maybe shortcut that entry like he's doing right here. He just needs to be a little bit closer to the rear bumper of the 12 car, and he can make that move where he can then slide up in front of the 12 of Blaney. How bad do you want those playoff points in that playoff championship point?
On the right of your screen, 3rd and 4th, Reddick and Almirola, as we close in on the end of stage 1.
Here goes Denny. He's going to try to surprise Blaney and dive into the corner, slide up in front of him. Nicely done.
You know, Mike and Jeff, I know y'all talked to Denny Hamlin during one of those red flags, but we need to make note, his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, is back this week after being suspended for 4 races.
So now it's Blaney trying different lines and trying to regain the advantage.
I really like the way that Denny Hamlin set up Ryan Blaney that last time into turn 1. He just waited to see where Blaney was going to lift, and as soon as Blaney lifted, he just carried more speed, shortcut the corner, and drove straight up in front of him to that top lane.
Well, to Larry's point, the crew chief and 2 other crew members were suspended because of Blaney at Charlotte losing ballast weight.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin, excuse me. Losing ballast weight as he pulled off pit road for the start of the race. And that's a major infraction for race suspension. So I'm sure it feels great to have your Daytona 500 winning crew chief back on the box. 4th place.
Now we saw Almirola have a lot of speed and move forward, but now it looks like maybe he's starting to lose the handling, and Chase Elliott's handling is coming back to him.
Inside of 3 to go in stage 1. Toyota, Ford, Chevy in the first 3 spots.
You can see Chase Elliott, again, like some of these other guys, just rim riding up on the wall, where Almirola was having to run a couple lanes lower.
So pit lane is closed with 2 laps to go in the stage. Denny Hamlin looking for a way past Brennan Poole, who will go 2 laps down. LaJoie still the first car 1 lap back, and that 13 of Ty Dillon is the next lead lap car ahead of our leader.
This is going to cost Denny quite a bit of time here as he's trying to navigate through these slower cars. He comes up to lap them. Tell you, the guy that got the most out of those 4 fresh Goodyear tires is that 4 car, Kevin Harvick, up 22 positions since the last caution.
Up to 14th, yes. Denny Hamlin won the 2nd stage of the Daytona 500. And of course went on to win in the final stage, but he's coming around to capture only his 2nd stage win in 12 races this season. So Hamlin, the stage winner, from Blaney, Reddick, Elliott, Almirola. 80 laps complete in Homestead-Miami. Denny Hamlin, your stage 1 winner. The pits will be open this time around for lead lap cars. We're told Jimmy Johnson in 25th will make an extended stay on pit road to fix a roof flap tether that is required by NASCAR. So we have 28 lead lap cars, and Eric Jones, who did have a loose right front wheel earlier and made a pit stop under green. Jones passed Corey LaJoie just before they came to the line at the end of the stage, and Jones will get the free pass. Matt?
Denny Hamlin said his car just wasn't tight enough to be aggressive, but it got tight near the end, especially down in 3 and 4. They're going to make a significant chassis adjustment. You can see it there to stay up with the racetrack. Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick in the 8 car, he felt like that right rear was coming apart. It was just so free. They made an adjustment as well. Chase Elliott already done, and Joey Logano is going to be on pit road for a long time as they look over to see what could be wrong, possibly a hole in the nose on the 22.
Wow, Eric Almirola pulled out in front of 3 cars abreast. Here's your Ram race off pit road. Looked like Hamlin and Boyer were the only drivers who did not gain or lose positions. Look at Truex, +5. Watch this, Jeff.
Crazy on pit road right now.
Close quarters right
Barely
here.
gets around Newman. There's one car that went by he almost made contact with. Here's the race off. Denny Hamlin going to maintain that lead. So we dial up that stage 1 winner, Denny Hamlin. Hey, Denny, this is Jeff and Mike in the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
10-4.
Well, congrats on that win, man. It looks like you got a great long-run car. Obviously, it's now a night race, not a day race. How are you having to adjust, and how are you and Chris Gabehart going to have to keep on up on the adjustments?
Well, it's changing. It's going to get cooler as we go, and it definitely will make changes. So we're going to try our best to keep up with it. We're a little tight there, that run, where we started the day a little free, but I don't know. I need a few minutes to think about what line more restart in.
Yeah, these restarts are pretty wild. So thanks for talking to us. Good luck the rest of the way.
10-4.
Hamlin will have lane choice on Chase Elliott. Second stage win of 2020 for Denny Hamlin. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. 86 laps complete, ready to go back to green. Friday Night SmackDown, all new every week on Fox. This week, newly crowned Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles celebrates his win, and we'll find out who his first opponent will be. SmackDown, oh, that's gotta hurt. Fridays at 8 7 Central on Fox. The voice in my head says that's got to hurt as much as 3 lightning delays in one race.
Don't jinx us here, Mike.
Nope.
We still got a ways to go.
In case you were wondering, going into tonight's race, the best average 4-tire stop time in 2020. Kevin Harvick's team first, Kyle Busch second, Joey Logano third, Alex Bowman fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, and Jimmy Johnson sixth as far as most efficient pit crews on 4-tire stops.
Well, Mike, the most efficient that trip is the guy that's out front, Denny Hamlin's 11 team. Theirs was 12.9, that stop right there.
Woo! That's getting it done on pit road.
We're going to listen to Josh Williams, spotter for Ryan Blaney, as the pace car pulls in, and here they come to the Geico restart zone for stage 2.
2 back 8 behind you, just 1 outside. Just 2 back in line, just 1 outside. Still outside the 88. Tight on your door. Still tight door. Still tight door, back even. Half back to 2 wide. Half back to the 8 in line, outside corner. 1 back to the 8 in line with you, still outside. Still outside 88, half lane off. Still at your door, corner, clear the 88, clear. Go by 1 to the top, by 1. By 2 to 2 wide, whatever you need. 2 back to 2 wide. Just the 11 minutes.
Well, we heard Denny Hamlin questioning which lane to pick on the restart. Well, they've all ganged up on him in that outside lane as Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney dove from the inside behind the 11 up to the outside lane. Denny Hamlin back to third.
And now everybody wants the top as Chase Elliott takes it to the bottom. Everybody but Alex Bowman, that is. They were 3 wide in the last corner. Double file in this one.
Wow, look at this huge run by William Byron to the rear bumper of Tyler Reddick. And never count out Kyle Busch. Even when it appeared he was struggling, all of a sudden he appears in the top 10 or up to 7th spot now.
For the lead. Blaney inside of Elliott. Ford versus Chevy battle, with Hamlin third.
Todd Gordon obviously brought a great race car for Ryan Blaney here today and making good adjustments as they go into the nighttime, because Ryan Blaney still continuing to show a lot of speed. Big battle here going on with Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, 8th and 9th position. Denny Hamlin, that long run speed, boy, he's able to get to second easily on Chase Elliott as he dives into the corner. Tyler Reddick also wanting a piece of that action with Chase Elliott.
Looked like it just took Blaney's car a couple of laps for it to come in, but now he's under fire from Elliott.
And we saw where Denny Hamlin took a while for that car to really come in, but this time it seems like the speed is there much earlier, so Denny Hamlin already in second spot. '24 car William Byron coming into the picture also.
Larry, we only had 3 caution flags during the first stage. 2 of those for lightning plus the competition caution. What's your plan if this second stage becomes a long run?
Yeah, Mike, what I think will happen is somewhere around lap 115 to 120. That's probably when we'll see them start to make their green flag stops. They'll pretty much all but split it in half.
Thanks.
William Byron going by Chase Elliott, moving in to the 4th position.
And Jimmy Johnson back in the 20s, 23rd through 27th for much of this race.
Right now at Hendrick Motorsports, you got 4th, 5th, and 6th with William Byron, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. About Reddick going after 2nd, trying to get by Denny Hamlin. But yeah, we heard it. Let's go to Matt first.
And an update on the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Now remember, his crew chief is Todd Gordon, who is Joey Logano's crew chief for many years. Logano was the best Penske driver here at Homestead the past 4 years, and Joey, he likes a little bit different feel in the race car. So what Blaney does, he says to Todd, you tell me what Joey ran. I know how many steps off of that I need to be to go in that direction of the setup, and it seems to be working. They are just on a rail right now.
Brian Blaney's led more laps in 2020 than any other driver who has yet to visit victory lane this year.
Yeah, we've seen him start races off very strong, just like he is today. Just got to get a few breaks to go his way to finish it off.
Brian Blaney has opened up a 9/10 of a second lead on Denny Hamlin. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. 100 of 267 laps complete. Here's your Progressive race summary. Brian Blaney, one of 5 leaders today. The others Logano, Hamlin, Elliott, and Keselowski. 10 lead changes, 29 cars. Joey Logano, the last one on the lead lap. 4 caution flags, all for either lightning, competition caution, or stage end. Not a single incident caution so far. Here's 11th through 13th. Keselowski, Boyer, and Almirola. 3 Fords fighting. Earlier, Keselowski slid up into Martin Truex, who may have some left front damage as a result. Hamlin and Reddick traded positions for about a quarter of a lap, and that's allowed Blaney to scoot away.
Yeah, it's really expected Denny Hamlin to start making ground up on our leader, Ryan Blaney, but he's had to look in the mirror so much because Tyler Reddick's working him over every single corner, every lane he could possibly try to get by this 11. And I just don't know if Denny has the speed right now in his car to go up there and take the lead like he did that last run.
Ooh, bobble by Hamlin as he tried to go lower on the track.
One of the things I love about progressive banking that this racetrack here at Miami Homestead Speedway has, it just allows you to drive the track in a way. If your car's tight, you can take a different angle, slow the car down slightly different, and use that progressive banking to rotate the car if you're tight. If you're loose, you can maybe go up against the wall and use that buffer of air between the wall and the right side of the race car to maybe tighten the car up. So that's fun for a driver to be able to experiment with different lines.
A lot of choices.
So, you know, guys, we're seeing so many of these drivers run up right up against the wall. So you might make the case, is there more grip up there? Okay. There's more banking? Okay. But let's use our Ford cutaway car, the Ford Aero Tracks, to show you one thing that might be going on. When you get up there, there's actually a bubble of air, and it creates side force on the right side of that car. Now, Jeff, we had one driver in Xfinity Series say today when he came off the wall too far, the car was loose. It's because it lost some of that side force generated by being right against the wall. Now, you can't just drive up there and get against the wall. It's not going to keep you from hitting the wall, but there is a little side force there, Jeff.
Yeah, I think even the right front fender, I've heard some drivers talk about how it pushes that right front fender just from the right front all the way to the right rear. Just seems to add a tiny bit of comfort and security and grip to that race car.
Speaking of tiny bits, that's by how much Hamlin is eating into Blaney's lead every lap. 300ths this lap, couple of hundredths the lap before, inch by inch.
Well, we've known from the start of this race, Denny Hamlin has a good long run car, and that looks like it's continuing after he and Chris Gabehart made some decisions and some adjustments on that car in the last pit stop.
11th place here, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola. They're about 10.5 behind the leader. Matt?
Making some headway there on the 1 of Kurt Busch as he's battling the 10 of Almirola. He said he was wrecking loose earlier. They've made some good ground up on his car. Meanwhile, the guy on the bottom, Almirola, says he burned off his right front earlier. He's hoping to make another adjustment so he can run up against the wall.
That battle continues. Going to check back at 13th, where new proud papa Austin Dillon is 13 seconds back. He and Whitney welcomed son Ace early this morning in North Carolina. Austin flew down here and plenty of time to start the race.
No matter what happens in his race today, he's going to walk out of here feeling like he's won. It's a great accomplishment and a lot of pride. I know he's thinking about them as he's running these laps.
Almirola has passed Kurt Busch for 11th. So from what Larry said, about 6 to 10 laps away from pit stops.
Yeah, Mike, they could go to lap 145 as far as fuel, but based on going back and looking at the last couple of races here, trying to split this second stage in half, I'd say once we cross over about 115, lap 115 to lap 118, you may see them start to come. And once 1 or 2 comes, you cannot be far behind.
Matt DiBenedetto, after a collision on pit road earlier and along stop repairs, he's worked his way back up into the top 20, restarted 20th for stage 2, currently 16th. Brian Blaney up now by 1.37 seconds as Hamlin inches ever closer. Welcome back to the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox. Ryan Blaney now leading Denny Hamlin by just half a second. In the last 3 laps, Hamlin has chopped a full second out of Blaney's lead.
Yeah, about 6, almost 7 tenths that last time by. Just wonder, Ryan Blaney really got out there and stretched at that lead. Just wonder if he didn't use up that right rear tire. You see the back end stepping out. He's really loose again. As Denny Hamlin's car, he talked about it being tight. That seems to be very good for the 11 car in the long runs.
Blaney has 3 wins in 173 starts, but his last top 10 or top 5 finish this year was the first Darlington race. Kevin Harvick restarted 14th. He's gained 7 spots since.
See that great shot, but the listening to the RPMs and Kevin Harvick work the throttle, and it just doesn't do it justice. Let's put our telemetry in here, but when you're running that close to the wall, the level of grip is so on the edge that all it takes is the tiniest bit of a mistake and you're in the wall, and you're coming to pit road to fix a possible cut tire. Here's the 6 car Ryan Newman on pit road taking tires.
He is the first of the lead lap cars to stop on this green flag sequence.
Almost cutting this stage exactly in half. That's a couple laps earlier than maybe some of the others might come.
And Hamlin is there, just a couple of car lengths back.
Here's some more of our leaders on pit road. Kyle Busch looked like maybe Brad Keselowski was also coming to pit road.
There's Brad entering the pit lane. And just as Larry predicted, most teams electing to split this stage in half, Matt.
The truck winner from last night, Kyle Busch, just has not had the car tonight. He's been sliding the nose. At one point he says, we are just awful. The car's still on the tight side. Meanwhile, the 2 comes into his box. His car a little bit free on entry as Denny Hamlin brings that 11 car. And these guys, the crew guys, what a great job they've done today. They pitted Riley Herbst earlier today. They packed on the electrolytes, the potassium, to try to keep their bodies in tip-top shape for tonight's job. A great stop. Hamlin, an air pressure adjustment to try to tighten him up on exit. Meanwhile, the 12, Ryan Blaney, brings the car down pit road. The 9 of Chase Elliott already in. His car is a tick on the free side. Meanwhile, Blaney was telling Todd Gordon he just cannot enter up top like he would like to. He just shoves the nose on exit. Look for an adjustment coming up next.
Harvick is in as Blaney makes his way to his stall, and that will leave only 7 cars out on the racetrack. Larry, one come, all come, right?
Yeah, you have to, Mike, because new tires over old tires, 40-lap tires, is almost 3 seconds a lap. You can't just sit out there and run.
So now everyone but Ryan Preece and Ty Dillon have made those stops. Tyler Reddick comes in, last of the drivers running in the top 5 to make his stop. So we'll see where he comes out, Jeff, because as Larry says, he's given up a couple of laps now to drivers that already have new tires.
And he might make it up at the very end of this stage, but we saw Denny Hamlin come in a lap before Ryan Blaney, and I think he's going to be our leader as these others come on pit road.
You have to stay on that access road leaving the pit. You can't just pop up on the racetrack. Blend in off turn 2. Ryan Preece comes to make his stop, so he will surrender the lead back to Denny Hamlin. Now Hamlin was 0.4 of a second behind Blaney before the pit stops. Now he's 2.2 seconds ahead.
Well, and that's that Larry talked about. You're giving up 2 or 3 seconds of older tires versus newer tires. So it only takes one lap for somebody like Denny Hamlin to come in a little bit earlier than our leader, Ryan Blaney. Blaney's out there on those older tires running a slower lap. As soon as Denny Hamlin gets back on the track, he's got those fresh 4 Goodyears to make up all that time.
Now there is the comparison, so that the times were identical, but pitting a lap before certainly has benefited Hamlin. Now, that's not a new strategy. That's what Kyle Busch did here last November on what turned out to be the final pit stop, and helped him to drive away from Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex and win the championship.
Well, and it's a little bit easier to make that call too when you're Chris Gabehart, because you know Denny Hamlin has a great long run car. So, you know, if you don't have a good long run car and you're abusing those tires and you're falling off a lot harder to come in very early unless you're going to hope for a caution.
So 35 to go in stage 2 in a race that has not seen a single caution flag for any kind of on-track incident. Denny Hamlin leading Ryan Blaney, but Blaney's coming. 1 3/4 seconds is the margin, with Tyler Reddick Chevrolet 3rd, William Byron and Chase Elliott in Camaros 4th and 5th. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. 130 laps complete, almost to halfway. Here are the Xfinity fastest laps today. On the right, Tyler Reddick ran his fastest lap at lap 26. Brad Keselowski at lap 2. Ryan Blaney, lap 38. Chase Elliott's on that list, also lap 2. And Denny Hamlin, lap 2, for the fastest laps of the night for each of those drivers. And let me clean this up a little. Ryan Newman did spin at lap 21 to bring out a caution. That was an incident caution, but since NASCAR declared that would be the competition caution, we'll give him a pass on that one. Ricky Stenhouse, our P&G camera, giving these pictures of Stenhouse, who is a lap down in 28th. I'm wondering if he has Talladega circled on his list.
I bet he does.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be right up there in the mix. Won the pole at Daytona, so you know he's got a fast race car as we go to Talladega.
So Hamlin, Blaney, Reddick. Tyler Reddick was 7.5 seconds back and has chopped that down to 4.7.
Remember, and that's the plus side of coming in a little bit later, is that, you know, as those other guys now are on new tires, you wait a little bit longer. You're going to close that gap for the first few laps that you come out, but you might not gain the full amount back.
Teammates at Stewart-Haas fighting for 10th place, Almirola and Boyer.
And we saw there Joey Logano, we're right on board with him, still struggling with you know, that damage to the nose, even though it seemed like the pit crew patched it up and fixed it. Joey Logano really struggling here, going a lap down.
Yeah, there are right now only 4 cars 1 lap down, and there's the repair to the front end of his Mustang. Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse, Ty Dillon are the cars 1 lap behind Denny Hamlin. So let's show you tonight's Toyota top performers. Denny Hamlin, of course, the race leader, has led 25 laps thus far. Kyle Busch in 8th, Martin Truex 9th, Christopher Bell and Eric Jones, after going down a lap, replacing a loose wheel, got the free pass to get back on the lead lap in 18th.
And you know, Mike, I think of Darlington, I think of Atlanta, and I think of this track here in Homestead. And we saw where the Toyotas were. I mean, Denny won at Darlington, but we saw where they were strong. All these JGR cars were very strong in Atlanta. And, you know, right now we're starting to see Kyle Busch, Truex starting to make up a little bit of ground. But Denny Hamlin has been very, very good since the drop of the green.
Well, it was Hamlin's pass of Ryan Newman that won Denny the Daytona 500 back in February. Now, Newman trying to stay on the lead lap against Hamlin. As we look a little further back at 4th place, William Byron and Chase Elliott.
See these teammates, William Byron, Chase Elliott, coming up on Ty Dillon.
Chase Elliott is about a chicken wings width away from the wall right there.
That's a good way to put it.
By the way, you buy 10. If Chase wins, you get 10 at any Hooters that have safely reopened across the United States. On Monday, if Chase wins, if he gets any closer to the wall, that will be the thickness of a pickle, and you get free fried pickles at Hooters on Monday if he places top 10. And that's all I can do with that.
Mike, I was going to say, well, I don't know how you could do it any better.
Let's try Matt.
Pretty amazing.
And Jeff, you know, it's a big decision about when to go up top from that 2/3 mark. And Chase said the car is a little bit tight on the high side. He just wishes he'd gone up there so much sooner, keeping that in the back of his mind for the next run.
Yeah, and Matt brings up a very good point. You can abuse these tires and change the balance of the car and how the tires build up air pressure in them and affect the handling if you stay down on the bottom. And what I mean by that is when you have new tires and you go to the bottom, you can run faster down there. As here comes Chase, the big run to his teammate William Byron is going to go to the inside here, probably complete this pass into turn 1. But if you think about the tires and just maintaining the longer run, you don't want to run and abuse those tires around the bottom for too many laps. It's only, Mike, 2-3 laps that you can run down there on fresh tires. Now here's a bit of a surprise. You see the Hendrick cars running 4th, 5th, and 6th. Teammates to Jimmy Johnson, but Jimmy Johnson's still struggling. They have not been able to figure out, even though they had an extended stay on pit road, trying to adjust this 48 car, Cliff Daniels, still just not able to give Jimmy Johnson what he needs right now.
Yeah, Jeff, they've had all kinds of things going on pit road. On one of the stops earlier in the race, an air gun flipped from tightening to loosening right in the middle of the pit stop, and then trying to rectify this issue with the tether on one of the roof flaps. It's like they're giving up a lot on pit road, but I don't think they have this car where they need it either.
Well, whatever's going on, you can see how loose Jimmy Johnson is. We saw this early on, and it's still continuing for Jimmy Johnson. That car is just dead sideways loose. I mean, he's just trying not to wreck it.
Jimmy had gained 3 spots since the restart. He is now +2. Denny Hamlin out front. You know, it's going to be a late night. I say we go visit the espresso bar and get highly caffeinated for the rest of this race. Welcome back to Homestead. 121 laps to go. We're well past halfway. And Tyler Reddick trying to get past Ryan Blaney and put his Chevy into second. Not this time.
Woo-hoo, they came really close coming off of turn 2 there, but I just can't get over how impressive. We even somewhat predicted Tyler Reddick being strong here today. I don't even know if I could have thought that he was going to be this strong. We've seen him run great in the Xfinity Series, winning back-to-back championships, and now he's going for second place on Ryan Blaney. Matt?
Dive bomb in the bottom there is the 8 of Tyler Reddick. He says he's tight across the seams, but a little bit too free on exit as Blaney pulls back alongside with the momentum.
Boy, Reddick was kind right there to Blaney, taking it very conservative. He had him cleared, could have jumped up in front of him. I think he was a little bit nervous about what kind of bump draft was going to be coming to his rear bumper.
Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin is getting away in the lead. Now, here's Chase Elliott. This is not for position because Joey Logano.
Oh, Joey Logano about spun Chase Elliott. I don't know if Joey was upset at Chase over something or just being really aggressive, but Joey Logano's a lap down. Chase Elliott is going by him.
Upset from this week or maybe
Yeah.
a different race.
Well, and exactly,
Whoa.
you know, that might be just the way that Joey Logano is going to race Chase Elliott from here on out because of what happened at Bristol. I don't think he was trying to wreck him, but he definitely was trying to get his attention. I'd say that got it. I mean, he was dead sideways getting into the turn.
So Joey actually is racing Jimmy Johnson for 25th. And here's Hamlin trying to work his way around John Hunter Nemechek. And Nemechek is trying to stay on the lead lap. Watch what happened.
Only 3 wide. See Denny gets up high. Yeah, I think what happens is as Denny and the 38 John Hunter Nemechek got closer and closer, just took a little bit of that right side air off the 11 of Denny Hamlin, and he drifted up, made contact, slight contact with John Hunter Nemechek.
So Nemechek now in the free pass position. The next car ahead on the lead lap is 21st place, Bubba Wallace. 10 to go, stage 2. Back to second place, Tyler Reddick trying to line himself up for another run at Ryan Blaney. And at 9th place, teammates Harvick and Almirola.
Well, we saw Kevin Harvick pass all those cars, come forward. There's that huge run that these drivers get off the top lane. As you slide up in front of them, your car just stalls out so easily, as we saw Eric Almirola and the 4 car Kevin Harvick had to check up there. But we saw Kevin pass so many cars come up through the field. Looked like he had a lot of speed. Now that he's up in the top 10, doesn't seem like he has that long run speed that he needs. Well, look at Chase Elliott coming up into this battle. That's going to put some pressure on Tyler Reddick to make this pass happen quickly on Ryan Blaney. There he goes. He's ahead of him. Oh! And that's exactly what Tyler Reddick was trying to prevent the last time when he was conservative. That time, it felt like he had to do it because he saw the pressure coming from the 9 of Chase Elliott. He jumps up in front of Ryan Blaney, and Ryan Blaney gave him a shot.
Yeah, Blaney drilled him.
I don't know how Tyler Reddick didn't spin out right there with that big of a shot.
So Reddick into second, 5.5 back of Denny Hamlin. 21 cars still on the lead lap, back to Bubba Wallace. And 7 to go, stage 2. You were riding along when this happened.
And you can see Tyler's just a little bit hesitant, doesn't want. Oh man, it almost wrecked the 12 of Blaney, not Tyler Reddick. But we saw where Tyler was trying to be real gentle and ease up in front of Ryan Blaney, not wanting to just jump up there because he knew what was coming. But I think Ryan Blaney is the one that's going to think twice about that kind of contact in the future.
Daniel Suarez going 3 down to Denny Hamlin.
How about Austin Dillon?
He's going to come up here and get a stage point.
And after that rough Martinsville race on Wednesday, knocking out that crush panel early on, taking all those fumes, all that heat built up inside the car, and then this morning opens up the day having a baby. He and his wife Whitney. That'll change your perspective.
He really had a lot of grit at Martinsville Wednesday night. Stayed in that car just as long as he possibly could, and ended up getting quite a blister on his backside because one of those plastic bags of ice broke, and that ice in that race car quickly becomes hot water that you're sitting in, and made it a tough night for Austin Dillon, but he climbed out. He was okay. But because of the limited number of people allowed at the track, there were no relief drivers available, and the car had to be retired. Well, at the start of this race, we mentioned that 7 of the top 10 were past champions of the NASCAR Cup Series. Now only 2 of our top 10. Martin Truex and Kyle Busch have had that honor. There's leader Denny Hamlin. And there's Tyler Reddick in second, 5 seconds back. Ryan Newman's about to go 2 down, and Bubba Wallace passed Ryan Preece, who is the first car now 1 lap down. Bubba in 20th and on the lead lap. There's Ryan Blaney, 4th place, 7 seconds back. William Byron 11.5 back in 5th.
I mean, pretty nice run for William Byron, starting 22nd, get up there to the top 5.
Kyle Busch trying to take 8th from Austin Dillon here.
Well, and I just wonder if maybe Austin Dillon didn't come up and pass Kyle Busch, and this is them kind of swapping these positions back and forth. Big checkup by Kyle Busch as Austin Dillon goes right on by.
Alex Bowman, 6th place, 15 seconds back. Martin Truex, 16.5 in 7th. And then the Dillon Busch battle, and finally Eric Almirola are your top 10. Bubba Wallace trying to stay on the lead lap. Here comes Hamlin at the finish of stage 2.
And he will do it.
And it's the 5th time a driver has swept the stages this year. None of those 5 have gone on to win. We'll see what happens in stage 3. Denny Hamlin, your winner of stages 1 and 2 tonight. We're at the end of stage 2 in Homestead-Miami. Chase Elliott currently 3rd. If he places in the top 10 tonight, free fried pickles at Hooters on Monday. And if Chase wins, 10 free boneless wings when you order any 10, available at all Hooters that have safely reopened across the United States.
You look at that right rear quarter panel, and above the right rear tire. Chase Elliott, we talked about how close he's been to the wall, and he got a little nick there, so don't want to get any closer than that.
Denny Hamlin will lead them on to pit road ahead of Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, William Byron.
A nice little advantage for Denny Hamlin having those lap cars in between he and second place Reddick.
Byron hits his box at the head end of pit road. And they peel off into their pit stalls. Matt?
Denny Hamlin chasing his third win here at Homestead. He won the stage, but he needs a little bit more help in the field he's looking for on corner exit. He needs more stability, a little bit tighter when he reaches that part of the corner.
Boy, Tyler Reddick, what a run this rookie has had. Ryan Blaney's crew finishing up. Oh, they tried to pull that fender on the right front of Blaney's car.
Chase Elliott up 1, Reddick down 1.
Kyle Busch up 2 and Kurt Busch up 4. I want to hear from that rocketing rookie Reddick.
So do I, Mike. Hey, Tyler Reddick, this is Jeff and Mike, the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, we're just having a blast watching you. You're just fun to watch, man, especially when you're up there on the wall. But your car is really good. You're able to put it about anywhere you want. How much fun are you having out here at Homestead? This is a great track for you.
Having a blast, but being so long they're off the wall, I almost forgot how to run the wall. So this is for all the marbles right here. This is the run to the end. So I know all of us up here at the front will be giving it all we got to try and get this track position and manage this race. But it's good to know we got some versatility. Hopefully we can just get this clean air and just manage this the best we can. But Denny, Chase, Blaney, all those guys are really good. Obviously everyone in the Cup Series is good, so I'm excited to duke it out with them.
All right, well, no pressure. You'd go into some pretty elite company if you win this race. Only Tony Stewart has won here as a rookie. So good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
Last driver I heard that was that happy was standing in victory lane. Tyler Reddick having quite a run tonight. Ready for stage 3. There's our aerial shot of our drone camera of the field going by under caution as we're ready for stage 3. And Larry has our credible.com race strategy.
Well, Mike, we're going to be back racing with about 100 laps to go. And remember, the fuel window somewhere around 62 to 66 laps. But to me, it's going to be a chess match. When you make this final stop, should we stay green? Think about what happened in this last stage, about how much time you would lose waiting. So to me, when that fuel window gets open a little bit, somewhere around 52 to 57 laps to go, you come in and get your 4 tires. Mike, you mentioned it. That's what won Kyle Busch and Adam Stevens not only the race, but the championship last November.
Thanks, Larry. Getting ready for the restart for stage 3 with everything we've seen so far. Hard to pick a favorite, but boy, Tyler Reddick, Jeff, has really been impressive.
He has. I love the race that he's running, and if he could just keep it off that wall, I think he has a car, if they've made some good adjustments here on this last stop, that can compete with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has to be real careful in this restart not to be overly aggressive because he has the car on the long runs, and then we've seen Chase Elliott really come into the picture too that could be a contender.
Getting ready for the restart for stage 3. And here they come to the Geico restart zone. Hamlin, a nice jump from the inside and a little push from Reddick.
See, Blaney gave Chase Elliott a nice big push into turn 1.
Ryan Preece got the free pass, and John Hunter Nemechek took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. So Denny Hamlin back to the lead. Let's take a look and show you how he got it here.
Timed it perfectly. Sometimes you have to worry about a little bit too much wheel spin. But you saw right there, he rolled up on the 11. Denny did a great job looking in his mirror to see when Tyler was rolling up to him, to when he took off. They both timed it really well. Tyler Reddick gives the 11 car of Denny Hamlin a little bit of a bump to just push him ahead of Chase Elliott to get clear of the lead.
Bowman and Dillon, 6th place.
Hey,
and Christopher Bell in the picture in the 95.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about Tyler Reddick here today. Another one of our rookies, Christopher Bell, putting together a nice run. Currently in the 8th position.
Jeff, on the last restart, it took Denny Hamlin a couple of laps to get going. He surrendered the lead, and then about 3 laps later was able to take it back. Here, he's fast from the get-go.
He is, but remember the last time, I think we got a caution.
So this will be the 6th caution of the night. Comes at lap 170. And it was something in turn number 2. And we'll await word. Hearing that might have been B.J. McLeod with trouble out in turn number 2. So the 2nd caution for an on-track incident. The first was Ryan Newman's spin at lap 21.
Well, as we're looking for what caused this caution, what gets very interesting is the chatter on the pit boxes between what to do, because it only takes 1, maybe 2 laps of green flag laps, Larry, before you want to come back and get some fresh Goodyears.
Well, you ever heard the term "smoke them if you got them"? You got 4 laying in the pits. If you're right up front, maybe not, but if you're on back, yes sir, 4 fresh tires.
Joey Logano and Ryan Newman. That was the caution.
No, we'll have to see if Joey Logano just got really loose, or if he had any help prior to that that sent him sideways, and then he came down and collected the right rear or right side of the 6 of Newman. Pits are open.
And that's poked a big hole in the nose in Newman's car. So here come most of the lead lap cars right back to pit road. Race leader Denny Hamlin is in. Matt?
Car took off much better, Mike, that run. So it bottomed out just a little bit at the beginning, but other than that, he was good. The 9 of Chase Elliott, borderline on the splitter, but they got it very close, took off really well. And then the 8 of Reddick out of your screen right there. There he is. His car took off much tighter that run. Air pressure changed this stop.
Hamlin and Elliott are going to get out ahead of Reddick, Blaney, and Truex.
Well, Truex up 4.
That crew's been on fire.
Yeah, they have.
Yep.
Especially when it counts. Now, something we'll talk about is that splitter. You heard the 9 talking about his splitter, 11 with his splitter. When we come back from break, we'll maybe dive into that a little bit more.
Getting ready for the restart with 93 laps to go. Austin Dillon had an uncontrolled tire, similar to what happened to Kurt Busch on the prior caution flag. Watch the 22, the yellow car, and here comes Ryan Newman behind him.
Yeah, I mean, you saw where the 22 kind of put a little bit of a block on the 6, and the 6 of Ryan Newman as they went down the corner made contact with the 22. Kind of got both of them a lot of damage.
Case closed. A lot of nose damage to Newman's car from that one. Hamlin and Elliott will be on the front row for the restart. Reddick and Blaney, Truex and Byron, then Bowman and Bell, Almirola and Kyle Busch the top 10. There are now, counting waiver rounds, 26 cars on the lead lap. 12 waiver rounds. And including 5 back to the lead lap. We're going to listen to Chase Elliott's spotter, Eddie DeHunt, as number 9 comes from the outside of the front row.
Off you. Big gap behind Hayes. Lane high of Blaney. Trying to get on your quarter. He's there. Gonna put you 3 wide here. Quarter. Clear bottom. 2 wide with hands. Door. Tight on you. Door. Quarter. Good. Take it. Take it.
Was 2 wide with him. It was about 3 wide with everybody else.
Well, you saw there going into turn 1 where Ryan Blaney just had a bit of a run and was able to get to the outside of Chase Elliott. I don't think Chase Elliott was anticipating that happening. Look at the sparks off the 11 car. We talked about Denny Hamlin complaining about that splitter hitting. And that's when you're on lower air pressures on newer tires, the cars will travel a little bit more into the racetrack and cause that splitter and those side skirts to bottom out. And that will limit your speed on these early runs and these early laps of a run.
Well, and Jeff, the speeds are picking up because Denny Hamlin just ran his fastest lap and the car's loaded more the faster you're running.
Whoa, 3 wide here. Almirola topside. Kyle Busch on the inside. There's your Toyota onboard camera from Busch.
So what, Kyle Busch is having to work really, really hard for this 8th place that he's running in, 9th place now. See Truex lost some spots on that restart, using that number 1 pit stall from that win in Martinsville, having a great pit road night. You know, we're making up spots on pit road, but not able to have the short run speed.
3rd place. Elliott and Reddick in Camaros from different teams. Hendrick Motorsports versus Richard Childress Racing.
And one of the reasons why Denny Hamlin has such a nice lead right now is because of this guy, Tyler Reddick. Timed another restart perfectly to give the push to Denny Hamlin to get out in front.
At 7th place, Christopher Bell on the outside of Eric Almirola, and they're going right after Alex Bowman in the 88.
Woohoo! The 95 of Christopher Bell dove to the middle. It just was no grip right there in the 95 as he carried that much speed into the corner, but really nice run by Christopher Bell. These rookies are impressive tonight.
2 of them in the top 7. Bell and Reddick, who just can't seal the deal against Chase Elliott.
We heard that little bit of bobble on the throttle of Tyler Reddick as we're riding on board. That just allows that momentum from that top lane. As you're running up against the wall, you're able to get to the throttle early up there, and you don't have to turn the wheel as sharp, so you carry a couple miles per hour more speed down the straightaway when you do that.
.86 to go. Look, there's 3 champions right in a row, and they're racing for 9th place. Truex, Harvick, Kyle Busch.
You can see Kevin Harvick running that lower lane. There's some speed down there, especially in the first few laps of, after you put fresh tires on, but you're grinding those tires away. You're really using up those tires. I think that's going to hurt Kevin Harvick on the long run, but he knows how important it is to get by these, get these positions to get some clean air.
Riding with Harvick, top to bottom, from our Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam. Truex has dropped from 5th to 10th since the restart here. Keep an eye on Blaney in the 12 there on the replay.
See Blaney trying to close up on the 11, but gets really loose off the corner.
And now he's got company.
Well, yeah, that's all it took for Blaney to get a little bit loose. And once you heat up that right rear on these big long corners, it'll take a while for that balance to get back the way you want it. You might not ever get it back. It might have just overheated that right rear and caused that loose condition to get even worse. Right now, this is the closest we've seen our top 4, even 6 positions be able to maintain. There's a little bump drafting. Alex Bowman to the rear bumper of the 95. You see how he went to that left rear. You got to be real careful getting to that left rear as you get into the corner. That could turn that car sideways.
82 laps to go in the southeast corner of Florida, not far from the Glades. Denny Hamlin out front. .76 laps to go in Homestead, Florida. Time for our Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Mike, I'm watching Tyler Reddick. This rookie has just been so impressive. This is one of his best tracks. He's won 2 races, 2 championships in the Xfinity Series at this track. I don't know if he's going to get the win today, but man, I'm having a blast watching Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Jeff, when you think of Homestead-Miami Speedway, you don't think about Ryan Blaney. Before tonight, he had never led a lap here. He's never had a top 10. He's already led 69 laps, and he and Todd Gordon in the last 5 races this year, 4 top 5s, they go to victory lane tonight.
Well, running third is Chase Elliott, trying to become the third Hendrick driver to win here at Homestead. His car much more maneuverable this run, and I think if you go back in history, look, in 2001, Chase was 17 days shy of his 6th birthday. When his dad won here, he'd love to join his dad once again in the history books.
No driver yet this year has won the 2 stages and taken the checkered flag. Denny Hamlin can be the first. He's got a battle on his hands for the lead. Stat boys tell me that Hamlin has 3 wins here. All right, one of them was in iRacing. But those are our Credit One Bank ones to watch.
And he just lost the lead, Mike. Sorry.
I'm going down in flames here. Is that what you're telling me, Jeff?
But it's not over yet. Look, this battle coming back.
Thank
Hamlin
you. All right.
Going back after Ryan Blaney. But, you know, one of the things I've seen happen here recently is it's like a switch goes off. We saw this happen earlier with Ryan Blaney. Switch went off. He lost positions. Right there, Denny Hamlin. Something happened to Denny Hamlin. Switch went off, and he lost the lead. What's going to happen is these 2 guys ballot it out, heat up those tires as Chase Elliott's coming into the picture now. And Denny Hamlin back to the lead.
And Ryan Blaney back to the bottom. This reminds me of Dover, Jeff. If you don't like the top, run the bottom. If you're going to pass them, go where they're not. Pick your lane and just try something different.
Well, and this is the, oh, you see Blaney sideways. Oh, I thought he was going to slide up in front of Denny Hamlin. Here comes Chase Elliott with a big run on Ryan Blaney. He's going to go to the inside.
He about slid all the way to the keys.
And you could see Ryan's moving the steering wheel back and forth, almost feeling like he had a right rear tire down or checking it before he got in the corner. But yeah, Mike, the track right now is offering some great racing because of those different lanes. We're at the coolest portion of the night, track temperature-wise, so there should be grip in all these different lanes, but it looks like those adjustments these crew chiefs made on that last pit stop has closed the gap on these top 3 or 4.
Tyler Reddick about 0.8 back of this group, and then a big gap, 1.7 seconds more back to Almirola, as Denny Hamlin holds on to the lead, and Blaney closing back up on Chase Elliott. So let's make that today's Tide Clean Pass and show it to you again.
See, something happened to slow down the 11 of Denny Hamlin. The 12 of Ryan Blaney gets a huge run off of turn 2, goes into turn 3, goes to the bottom, gets really loose. Now, if he'd slid up in front of Denny Hamlin, this would not be a very clean pass. That would have been a crash with both of these guys. Good job by Ryan Blaney recognizing that the car was loose and Denny was coming to the outside.
And great job by Chase Elliott taking advantage, and that's how they run. Hamlin, Elliott, Blaney, 1, 2, 3, Toyota, Chevy, Ford in the first 3 spots. 14 lead changes among 6 drivers, including the 3 at the front, plus Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, and Brad Keselowski have all led tonight. Christopher Bell coming back into the picture from 9th place. Under Alex Bowman.
Yeah, these guys, they have been going at it. A couple dirt racers here. They run the Chili Bowl together. So they know what slide jobs are all about on dirt. And they've been getting their fill of them here tonight at Homestead.
We're about to have Eric Jones join them. Since the start of the race, let's have a look at the USAA biggest movers. Christopher Bell up 25 spots. Remember, they draw for starting positions. Top 12, next 12, and then the next 12. Right now, 7 of our top 10 drivers in this race are in their 20s, including most of this list. That's your USAA biggest movers with 68 to go.
Busch making move on William Byron. William Byron was all the way up there to, I think, was it Reddick? He came up to that top 5, almost battling for 4th position, and then all of a sudden the car just fell off.
Yeah, Byron completed stage 2 in 5th place. Here's a little more detail on our top 10. Old man Hamlin leading here.
Old man Hamlin, yeah.
With Almirola and Kyle Busch in their 30s. Those 3 drivers.
Yeah, take those out. Man, your average is really low, really young.
From Bowman at 27 to 22-year-old Byron.
That just shows you got a bright future in this sport with a lot of young talent.
Sure do. 66 to go. .61 laps to go. Here's the race recap sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. After 5 laps, lightning and more lightning put us under the red flag for 2 hours. Ryan Newman's spin lap 21 was the competition caution. You put 38 cars on pit road all at once, and these are the kind of things that happen. More lightning at lap 32. And finally, Denny Hamlin wins stage 1 and stage 2. Lap 170. Ryan Newman, Joey Logano get together. That brought out the 6th caution flag of the night. A lot of damage to the front end of Newman's car. And now Kevin Harvick is on pit road with a possible flat right rear tire. Okay, possible, probable, actual. Flat right rear.
And you can see he's made contact with the wall, so probably Kevin Harvick was running right up against the wall, made some contact, flattened that right rear fender in on the tire and caused it to be cut.
Now, Mike and Jeff, he can make it from here as far as fuel, but what he needs this thing to cycle through, talking about Kevin Harvick in the Ford, to cycle through green flag stops. And I think somewhere in about the next 10 to 12 laps, you may see people start to come to pit road. I still look at it as a chess match. Who's going to come first?
Thanks, Larry. Harvick just going 2 laps down, according to our scoring.
Yeah, the leaders aren't too far ahead of him, so he'll get one of those back here shortly. Ooh, an issue for the 17. Chris Buescher, also a tire going down.
Another right rear. We are still under green as Buescher tries to wrestle that Mustang to pit road. He's in turn 4 now. He's going to make it. Alex Bowman is in for tires under green.
And I don't see any damage to the right side of the 17 of Buescher, so that's just a tire that has gone down for some other reason.
So here's a quick look at how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring, with Denny Hamlin the leader. Austin Dillon, nice recovery from a pit penalty, to 11th. Bubba Wallace 16th and on the lead lap. Joey Logano is 1 lap down. So is Ryan Newman, and Daniel Suarez 3 laps back.
Bubba putting a nice run again, following up that top 10 finish at Martinsville. And here he is in the 15th position at Homestead.
But guys, I go back to my credible.com race strategy. I think Greg Ives, the 88 car, I think he laid the gauntlet. He realized that he couldn't just sit out there and run. He needed to get the pit road early and try to make up some ground.
Larry, are you surprised that nobody else has been in?
Well, I think I'm going to look more at the top 6 to 8, Mike. I think that's where the chess match really starts, is when you're up there with about 5, 6, 7 seconds of each other. Whoever's going to make the play first to come to pit road, and I still believe that will happen in the next 6 to 8 laps.
And Larry, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys are looking at those Larry Mack trends of a possible caution, you know, that could come out too. If they run this all the way to the end, yeah, if he's got a really good car, makes up that time on those fresher tires right now. But what he's really hoping for is this green flag cycle to go through, and then a caution to come out to maximize it.
Riding with Ricky Stenhouse. Now watch Chris Buescher, who is on fresh tires. You just saw him come to pit road in the Roush Fenway number 17 Mustang.
You want to see what about 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap looks like?
Yep.
Comes into the frame, goes right out of the frame.
Right. 2 rookies in the top 10. Tyler Reddick in 4th. Ryan Preece is in. And Christopher Bell in 8th. 2 rookies in the top 10. The last time a rookie finished top 10 here was 13 years ago. David Reagan.
Chase Elliott closing in on our leader, Denny Hamlin, as Chris Buescher gets his lap back, or one of those lap backs anyway.
That's right. He lost 2 laps cutting down the tire and making the pit stop. So he's now 1 down.
Ricky Stenhouse on pit road for 4 good years.
Stenhouse had been one of the wave around cars, got himself back onto the lead lap. Of course, for him to stay there, these stops will have to completely cycle through.
Added a little tape to the nose.
Yep.
Some better front downforce and aerodynamics. And I think it's really important for Chase Elliott to maintain this gap on that number 11, Denny Hamlin. That puts him in a better position of when to come down and get those 4 tires as the 3 of Austin Dillon's in his pit stop for 4 tires.
Trouble-free stop there. Here's John Hunter Nemechek, who also got himself back on the lead lap. As Larry pointed out, though, still none of the top 6, in fact, none of the top 16 have come to pit road.
If I had a radio, I would call Reddick or Jones to pit road right now. Make up some ground on these leaders.
Chase Elliott to pit road.
And so it begins.
And this is that leapfrog that they wanted to do on our leader, Denny Hamlin. Come in a lap before Denny Hamlin. Here comes William Byron. I'm almost certain Denny Hamlin is going to have to be in this lap.
Matt?
Charlotte winner Chase Elliott comes to a stop. Car took off much better that time. He said he felt like they almost had the splitter just right. So maneuverable over this past run. Solid stop so far for these guys. Left side's going on, waiting, and he's away.
And here's your leader, Hamlin.
So now we're just going to have to wait and see after this cycle's out if that one lap is going to do it. What kind of pit stop, what kind of entry into pit road, non-pit road. Matt?
The 11th, Denny Hamlin is in. He said he felt like he needs to have much better turn all the way through the corner. Air pressure change on the 11. Meanwhile, the 12 of Ryan Blaney, he needs a little bit more turn as well. Seems almost like the track is changing a little bit over the final run here. Significant change there in the back window.
Adding a piece of tape to the nose on Blaney's car, and Tyler Reddick took over the lead there. Now Reddick is on pit road, and the lead will cycle to Kyle Busch. So Reddick in for what he hopes is his last stop of the night.
There's that difference in those new tires for Chase Elliott coming in one lap earlier. Goes by Denny Hamlin down the back straightaway.
Reddick finishing up with left sides. So Elliott went from being 0.7 of a second behind Denny Hamlin to now 1.8 ahead, a difference of 2.5 seconds.
And of course, this is not for the lead yet because Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth still staying out. But if the caution doesn't come out and they cycle in, then Chase Elliott will be ahead of Denny Hamlin.
So Matt Kenseth, there's our Credit One Bank onboard camera. As Kyle Busch comes to pit road, Kenseth will cycle through to the lead on a strategy ploy by Chad Johnston to leave him out and hope to catch a caution. But cautions have been few and far between once we got racing once again here tonight.
Yeah, because if that caution came out right now, pretty much everybody that's come down pit road to get tires is going to come right back and do it again. Chase Elliott able to actually get by Matt Kenseth. So when Matt Kenseth does come to pit road, he's going to be a couple laps down.
And now with 46 laps to go, Larry, how about our trends?
All right, I have called an audible on the trends because to me the racing has been different since we came back 7 races ago. So what I did, I looked at the last 7 races since we came back, and the last caution is roughly in the final 16%. So tonight that would be around lap 224. 43 laps to go, which we're right there, and we actually had that one overtime finish in the Coke 600 at Charlotte.
Okay.
If this doesn't work, I'm done with the trends.
Larry, I thought the trend was your friend.
Yeah.
He hadn't been my friend since we came back.
True. Chase Elliott, by pitting 1 lap sooner than Denny Hamlin, has a 1.6 second lead. Matt Kenseth has yet to make this green flag stop. Same with Ryan Newman, Corey LaJoie, and BJ McLeod.
That was a battle right there. Bubba Wallace and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That's what, for 16th position.
And Mike and Jeff, Matt Kenseth and Chad Johnson, they can probably run another 15 laps on fuel. I love what they're trying right here because there's no way they were even close to having a race-winning car. But if they catch a caution before they pit, they're going to come to pit road and get 4 tires, and everybody else will too. So they have made up a ton of ground. If they don't get a caution, it's all for naught.
You saw Tyler Reddick on fresh tires go past. Reddick's last lap was 33.42. Kenseth's last lap was 2.3 seconds slower.
Oh, those fresh tires. You got to love them.
42 to go. We'd love to wait on Larry's trend, but, you know, we have to pay for this here show. So, how about if we take you Fox side by side? Welcome back with 38 laps to go. Matt Kenseth has finally made his pit stop. So now we've completely cycled through what should be the final green flag stop of the night. And it leaves Chase Elliott 1.3 ahead of Denny Hamlin, who was leading prior to pit stops because Chase came in one lap earlier. So Larry, the question to you is, at what point does Elliott's benefit of having stopped one lap earlier equal out or maybe slide over into Hamlin's favor?
I just think it's going to be throughout the run, Mike. I love what Alan Gustafson said there, and that's exactly what I would have done. If they waited to Hamlin and Blaney to pit, there's no way they're going to take the lead. So I think by coming that one lap earlier, and I'm looking at his lap times, he's still either as quick, in some laps a little quicker than Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're actually hearing on the radio Chase Elliott saying he's tighter on this run. Meaning those front tires just aren't turning quite as good. Well, that's a good thing he's out front, because he's got more clean air to the nose of that number 9 Chevrolet, and that will help that tight condition. So he's going to have to maintain that clean air and that number 1 position if he's going to want to keep the balance the way he wants it.
Well, he's having a better night than the team that described their car as a big bucket of bolts about 20 laps ago. So 35 laps to go in the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox. And Denny Hamlin is starting to eat into Chase Elliott's lead here.
It really is. Almost 2/10 that last lap. So either that tight condition on Chase Elliott is getting worse, or Denny Hamlin's car is coming on stronger at this point in the run. Now, you know, back to Larry's point, Chase Elliott has the control of this race right now, not just because he's the leader, but as Denny Hamlin closes in, if he needs to run the same line, which right now he doesn't have to. He can run a little bit lower, as you see here on the racetrack, but if he needs to run those tire tracks, it's going to take a lot of downforce away from the 11 of Denny Hamlin. This is where Chase Elliott's going to have to start watching his mirror, listening to a spotter about the lanes that the 11 of Denny Hamlin are choosing. So this end of the racetrack, I feel like Chase Elliott can hold his own on the top. But down here, Watch Denny Hamlin go to the bottom and really gain on Chase Elliott. Looks like Chase Elliott's just locked on to that top lane. You can see how, look at how much faster that top groove is as he comes off the corner there. See right there, Denny Hamlin needed all that racing room that Chase Elliott was taking up on that outside. Was not able to just unwind the steering wheel out to the wall and gave up some speed.
Ryan Newman, who had been on pit road just prior to the start of this cycle, has come down pit road and made another stop.
Yeah, I think I saw the flagman giving him a black flag as if maybe there's some debris flapping around on that race car.
Matt?
And Chris Gabehart, just such a strategist on top of the box. A few moments ago, he was telling Denny Hamlin, just run your pace. Chase Elliott's burning his stuff up. He'll come back to you. Just let him come back to you.
Yeah, so obviously Chris Gabehart saw some of the lap times that Chase Elliott was running, maybe even looking at some of the data that's available to these teams, see how much throttle Chase Elliott was using, and could tell if he was abusing those tires.
Chris Gabehart back at the track after that 4-race suspension from Charlotte, and guiding Denny Hamlin's fortunes here.
Boy, Joey Logano not cutting Chase Elliott any slack right here. We talked about the incident they had at Bristol and how Joey Logano is going to race Chase Elliott from here on out. And you can see as our leader, Chase Elliott, comes up to Joey Logano. Joey's running the exact line that Chase Elliott wants to run. Oh, they're going to be side by side. This opens up the door for Denny Hamlin to get a big run. Yeah, that's going to help him just not only get the run, but possibly take the lead here. Now Joey Logano moves down.
Well, he moves down because Chase Elliott was on the inside there, and now Logano's going to be out of the way and let them fight it out. Maybe not. A Ford onboard camera looking back from Logano. It was the last car 1 lap down.
Joey's fighting pretty hard even against Denny Hamlin right here. Does not want this lap to get away from him. He's already 2 laps down, now going 3 laps down.
So Logano just went 2 laps down. The scoring ticker was a little ahead there.
Yep, you're right. Now goes 2 laps down.
Now he's 2 down. I'm reminded the last time a Hooters car went to victory lane, it was white, and it was 28 years ago on this date. Alan Kulwicki at Pocono in his championship season took his Underbird to the win on June 14th, 1992.
Well, I thought once Denny Hamlin got ahead of Chase Elliott, he was going to check out, but right there, Chase Elliott able to close in on Denny. He's going to go after him down here. Not able to make it stick to the bottom lane there through 1 and 2.
But Jeff, these 2 cars are just remarkably even. It's just one is better than the other at a different place on the racetrack, and by the time you get back around to the line, they're even again.
Well, it's it's easy to gauge off that driver in front of you and how you run the line that you run, how you pick up the throttle, but it's very difficult to actually make that pass. See Chase Elliott goes to the top as Denny Hamlin goes to the bottom. See if Chase can't carry that speed off the top to close in on Denny. Now Denny's going to have some traffic to deal with of his own.
And they're going to do this for 26 more laps.
And run an inch off the wall while doing it.
Well, we had a 3-wide finish here in the Xfinity Series. In fact, a couple of great finishes, including a green-white checker, a double overtime earlier today. So this place more than capable of producing great finishes. Ryan Blaney is 2.1 back, and he is faster than the 2 leaders right now. Tyler Reddick in 4th running about the same speed as the leaders. Fifth place Eric Almirola just a little bit slower.
And you can see Blaney's got a good view of what's going on with these two leaders in front of him with Hamlin and Elliott.
With 25 laps to go, Hamlin leading by 0.4 of a second. We'll take you, Fox, side by side. "20 laps from now, someone will hoist the Dixie Vodka 400 trophy here in Homestead-Miami Victory Lane in their silver anniversary season. Will it be Denny Hamlin or Chase Elliott? All of these champions decided here. 11 of 14 Homestead-Miami winners are Cup champions. And there are your three drivers to win and not be a champion: Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, and in the center, Denny Hamlin. So will Denny Hamlin change history tonight or in Phoenix at the end of this season? We'll see.
Well, yeah, you can't help but look at the stats and the numbers of when you come here for the championship, how those four guys are always the best cars, the ones battling for those top four spots in the championship. And here we are without a championship on the line. Now Hamlin, I can say, Hamlin had a shot at winning that race in November when we were last here at Homestead and a shot at that championship. But second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, none of those guys were anywhere near championship contention. And look at the great runs they're having tonight.
Right. That's how the switch has flipped. Our top six drivers, none of them have won a championship. Might it be up to Ryan Blaney to catch Denny Hamlin? He's 1.5 back. And that lap just a couple of hundredths quicker than the leader. Tyler Reddick was a 1/4 second faster than the leader. And now that levels out just a bit.
Yeah, Mike, you only have one driver in the top 10 that has won a Cup championship, and that's Kyle Busch. That's sitting back there in 7th in that 18 car.
I don't know if I've ever seen Kyle Busch grinding it out, working as hard as he has tonight, and just stuck in that 7th and 8th position.
There are only 3 champions in the top 15. Kyle Busch, Keselowski, and Truex.
We saw Denny Hamlin lost a little bit of speed there and momentum off the corner, and Chase Elliott trying to take advantage of it. Lap traffic could very easily play a factor in this race, just like it played a factor for Chase Elliott.
Hamlin's led 121 laps so far, almost twice as many as Ryan Blaney. Let's show you how Chase Elliott caught Denny Hamlin this time.
So you can see Denny Hamlin goes to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right in the middle of turns 3 and 4 and wasn't able to run the line right up against the wall. That shows you how much faster it is when you could put that car up against the wall. I mean, he must have been going 10, 12 miles per hour faster as he came off the corner, Chase Elliott to Denny Hamlin. So that's what Chase Elliott's going to have to do here if he wants to win this race. He's got to stay in those tire tracks to Denny Hamlin, hope they come up on lap traffic, and hope that Ryan Blaney doesn't come into the picture, because Ryan is coming.
Chase Elliott right now is like the dog that chased the mailman. Okay, I caught him. Now what do I do? How do I get by? He's got 14 laps to think of something and to look in his mirror, because Blaney is coming and Reddick in 4th. Sees Blaney ahead. He's going to do everything he can to close up on those leaders.
And that's what I was going to say, Mike. About the only thing you can do is just be more aggressive, because when you're the leader, you don't want to lose it by making a mistake, even though you've got clean air, and that should help your performance of your car. But if you're second in Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, the only chance you feel like you've got is to put it a little closer to that wall, maybe even brush that wall and get the throttle down a little bit sooner and slide that car through the corner in these closing laps. Take some more risks, take some more chances, and maybe close that gap.
Kurt Busch in the 1, last car on the lead lap in 19th position. And Alex Bowman in 18th, and they both fall to Denny Hamlin. Blaney's coming. Sixth place, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. Eric Jones having a strong run tonight, overcoming a loose wheel earlier. And Kyle Busch trying to win at the site of his last triumph, which was here last November. We're 12 races into the season. Kyle Busch has not been to victory lane in the Cup Series.
Now that last time by, Tyler Reddick was a couple tenths of a lap faster than our leader.
11 laps to go. They may all end up 4 wide at the finish.
I hope so. I'd like that.
Tyler Reddick coming off 2 Xfinity Series championships for 2 different teams, Junior Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing, which promoted him to the Cup Series and into the car occupied last year by Daniel Hemrick. And Reddick has lit it up.
And Mike, you talk about Richard Childress Racing. This has to be one of the most improved organizations from last year. Their 2 teams total in 2019, they had 1 top 5 and 8 top 10s. And here they've got Austin, who's running 8th in his 3 car. Tyler Reddick, who has been in the top 5 most of the night.
Great night for RCR. And here is Reddick alongside Blaney. 3rd place.
That's what I like about what Tyler Reddick did. He didn't waste any time trying to make this move on Ryan Blaney. He knows the longer that he rides in those tire tracks, the more it's going to overheat those tires. He's there. If he can slide up in front of Blaney, might get another one of those shots from Blaney, and he does. Blaney now going to try to do the crossover.
Yeah, that squirreled up Reddick just a little bit.
Oh no, Reddick. Oh man, he just could not pick up the throttle. Tried to keep it out of the wall. He'll try to do the crossover possibly also on Blaney, but boy, just could not maintain that top lane. He wanted to stay to the outside of Ryan Blaney and side draft him, but just wasn't able to stay there. That car's pretty free.
And Eric Jones just came down pit road with a right rear flat. Oh, had a great run going around 6th place. Look at the damage on the right rear corner.
Yeah, they're just going to put right sides on. Hopefully they got that fender clearance. I don't know if they pulled it out enough. It might cut the right rear tire again.
Keep an eye on
to go.
Him with 7 to go, yeah. Well, all of that battling for 3rd place between Blaney and Reddick have left them 1.6 and 2 seconds back. And the race is Denny Hamlin versus Chase Elliott. That just might be too big of a gap for Blaney to overcome in 6 laps.
I mean, he might be able to get one of those cars, but to get both of them, that's the tough part. And you saw how Tyler Reddick, he caught Blaney. Maybe it was in some lap traffic, made that move, thought he was going to go by him and stay by him, stay in front of Ryan Blaney. But, you know, just pushing the car that hard just for those couple of laps, it seems like it used up some of the good on, or whatever good was left on those 4 Goodyear tires on Tyler Reddick.
We started the night with a run of 5 laps, and then lightning prompted a 2-hour red flag, a Ryan Newman spin, and then another 40-minute stop for lightning. Finally, Denny Hamlin won the first stage. The second stage went caution-free. Hamlin won that. A spin by Joey Logano and Newman at lap 170, and we've been green ever since. Hamlin's trying to become the first driver this season.
Oh, did Chase get the wall a little bit? Maybe.
To win both stages and the race.
You saw Denny Hamlin was actually leaving a bit of a gap to the right side of his car to the wall. Maybe was going to see that gap that the 11's leaving, but that allowed the 9 car to try to take advantage of that, but then he got in the wall. And now, oh, he and Blaney almost come together. I think that's really changed the aerodynamics of that right side on the 9 car Chase Elliott, and he's losing time.
So now the fight is for second. Elliott versus Blaney. These are the 2 drivers that won the races at Talladega last year, and we head there next Sunday on Fox. Right now, Fox Bet is up to $90,000, and there are 2 Fox bettors that are in the correct position with their entry.
Well, if they know that and they're watching this race right now, they're screaming and yelling at these 2 in 2nd and 3rd place. I'm guessing they would not want those positions to change. Two to go.
Denny Hamlin trying to top the win list, and it could be 3 wide behind him.
Well, that's what I talked about, Mike, being more aggressive, and that's exactly what Chase Elliott did right there. But that's what being more aggressive can do when there's this little grip left in the racetrack and you're running that close to the wall. It can just pull you right into it.
White flag waves, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Blaney coming for second to the inside of Chase Elliott. And back up in line. Tyler Reddick has fallen 2.5 behind them. And here comes Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, 40th career win at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Way to rebound, boys. You damn right. That's a championship racing right there. Have a good day.
10-4, man. Way to go.
Denny Hamlin ties Mark Martin for 19th on the all-time list and becomes the 20th driver in NASCAR history to have 40 victories in the Premier Series. He won at Darlington in May, and he's the first driver with 3 victories in this 12-race-old season. counting iRacing, this is his 4th win here, but his 3 in the Cup Series here are tied for the most all-time in this track's history. It's his 10th win on a 1.5-mile track, the 8th different track where he has won 3 times. And he is the first driver this year to score a sweep in the Cup race, winning both stages and taking the checkered flag. 4th win of the year for Joe Gibbs Racing and 8th at Miami. 4th win this year for Toyota and 6th at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
A lot of credit to Chris Gabehart, his crew chief, coming back after that penalty, and the way they stayed on top of the adjustments in this racetrack to get Denny Hamlin out front, stay out front in that last run.
Nice to hear those 500 to 1,000 invited guests from the city of Homestead salute Denny Hamlin, who gets the checkered flag. Matt Yoakum is with him.
And Mike, it certainly was great to hear the cheers from the fans. Gabehart back on the box. And the statement on the radio, I thought, said it best. This is a championship-winning team performance tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Just made our car really good. I mean, this is the car kind of, set up kind of based off of what we had there in the fall here last year, going for the championship. But had a strong car all day, obviously, with the laps led, and it was able to get around chase there at the end. But yeah, this whole FedEx team has just done a phenomenal job. This Camry is just this one was real special. So got to thank Coca-Cola, Jordan Brand, FedEx, all of our partners, everyone at JGR for putting together great race cars and keep digging and getting our stuff a little bit better.
And then the patience by you behind the wheel. Gabehart told you, just be patient. He'll burn up his stuff and come back to you.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, it seems like the end of these races seems to be Chase's best suit. But I knew that, if I was just patient, ran the pace that I wanted and the pace I was comfortable with, we were going to be hard to beat in the long run.
2 races in Florida so far in 2020. 2 wins for Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin the victor, Elliott second by 9/10 of a second, Blaney third, Tyler Reddick with a great finish, the first top 5 of his career, and Eric Almirola with his first top 5 of the season. But the night belongs to Chesterfield, Virginia's Denny Hamlin. Congratulations to Coca-Cola Racing family driver Denny Hamlin for his big win here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Going to the top of the win list. What happened to the runner-up? Let's find out from Matt.
Strong second place finish for Chase Elliott. You guys have had a lot of speed now week in, week out since we've come back. But was the issue with the 22 of Joey Logano holding you up? Was that the difference tonight for you?
I just need to get through lap traffic better, but I thought our Hooters Camaro was plenty good enough to win. I thought we executed a really nice race and kept it out of the wall almost the whole race. Got it there at the end, but proud of the effort. We're bringing fast cars right now, and that's everybody at HMS is working really hard to do that. So keep putting ourselves in good position, do a little better job getting through lap traffic, and maybe we have another sticker. So yeah, we'll just try to put ourselves in more more spots to win and see where it goes from there.
They keep putting themselves in position. Strong night, P2 for Chase Elliott.
Nice night for Christopher Bell. Had his best career finish, winding up 8th. And 2 Richard Childress Racing cars in the top 10. First time that's happened since 2018. Let's hear from one of their drivers with Matt.
Great 4th place finish. I'll tell you what, Tyler Reddick, you told me before you highlighted this race this night. You couldn't wait to get here. Break down your night for us.
Well, I mean, we had really good speed early on in our Chevy Caris Camaro. Guys at men and women at RCR did a great job of bringing a really good fast race car here, and we're able to use that to our advantage in the first couple, 30 laps to get into the top 10. And from there, we just tried to fine tune it and make it better to run the fence. But then there was times it was better running the top seam. So it was just a struggle to figure out what lane was going to be better for me and trying to get the lead and hold it. And unfortunately, we just got a little too tight there to really get all we could get through turn 1 to make the fence work. But all in all, good, solid effort. When we come here, I've won the last 2 times I've been here, Granddad's Xfinity car, but we're up on the fence with 3 of the best, and somehow, we kept out of the wall most of the night, all 3 of us, and it was just a good fought battle.
Mike, this young man just continues to impress.
Folks, if you're looking for a new young driver to follow, put Tyler Reddick on your list. Denny Hamlin celebrates in Homestead. Denny Hamlin is the winner in Homestead, picking up another victory in his chase for the championship. But he wasn't the only winner tonight. What a great number of drivers, Jeff, challenging for the lead, running the top, running the bottom, passing on one side, passing on the other, getting runs. A very, very competitive race, and some outstanding performances by two rookies, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, each getting their best career finish.
Yeah, I mean, this is an entertaining race, and it's a challenging race to run as a driver because you have to run up against the fence. You have to run at the bottom and know when you need to start moving up to those different lanes, try to find some speed, try to change the balance. And for a rookie, this is one of the toughest places, but yet we had two rookies really shine here tonight, Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell. I think you're going to see a lot of bright moments in their future coming up very soon. But Denny Hamlin, 40 wins for his career. All he's missing is a championship, and guess what? He might be on his way to getting that this year. He seems to be the strong favorite at this portion of the season to be the championship contender.
Your local news is next, except on the West Coast. There's the lineup, and next weekend at Talladega, ARCA on FS1 Saturday, and the Xfinity race. We'll be with you Sunday for the Cup race on Fox. And don't forget Race Hub every weeknight on FS1. It started out with thunder and lightning. It got congested on pit road, got a little crowded on the racetrack from time to time. But Denny Hamlin won both stages and takes the checkered flag tonight.
I can see the future crystal clear. I may not see your face, but I smell your fear. I'm gonna find you, this I swear. You're gonna feel my wrath around you everywhere. This is war, it's warfare. We won't stop, we won't surrender. We're not done until the war is won.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.